So yeah, we're doing the next edition of uh, Raz Reacts. I am once again joined by the Thievius Dracunis,
I
and we're gonna subject him to cringe.
uh
And what he's told me is that of all his everything wrong with videos, he cringes the hardest at this one.
well, okay, so to be fair, I actually do cringe harder at 5 and 4
Oh,
because those were so early. Uh but I dislike the quality of what I did with 7 the most. Because like I told you, I did the most mistakes in this video, or at least the most egregious mistakes in my opinion.
gotcha.
Of all the ones that I want to redo, this is one I badly want to redo.
And we have incoming ad break. Oh, 30 seconds.
And we can snooze that for a bit.
Well, I find it easier just to hold off and then go directly into it after the
Yeah,
break
fair enough.
because it only snoozes for 5 minutes and I only get
Yeah.
three per like day and they recharge like one every stream. So
All right, we'll see you
uh,
guys in a minute.
we'll just shoot the shit until then. Um,
I
but
don't see any shit. Do you see any shit to shoot?
God damn it, Sly. So um, background, I have seen this before. Um, Incoming Helios ad breaks stay on the projected blast radius.
No, I'm afraid everyone that's unsubbed is currently in the blast radius.
Yeah, um, I would gift everyone subs to break the ad
No,
joke,
that's not the point.
but I don't have the money.
That's not the point. We're supposed to give you money.
I know. Uh,
It doesn't work if you give the subs.
I
You keep
know.
just giving Amazon more money.
But
Especially if it's coming from the Arsenal bird, Jeff Bezos' personal aircraft carrier.
I love that from the Max War video. Just remember though that the APS system is a
Force
subscription
fields are a
service.
subscription service. Wait, when I said I cancel everyone's Prime subscription, I didn't mean my own.
Shit. Uh, Speaking of Max, where I recently this morning, um, while I was taking a break from shoveling my driveway, because a foot of snow the entire length of the driveway, plus an extra half a foot of compacted snow at the end of it that formed
Nice.
a wall thanks to the snowplow. It was hard work. Anyway, um, I was watching the Baldur's Gate 3 Max review.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
It is fucking insane.
I mean, the man is fucking insane.
But he's not wrong. All the shit that he does in the video are legitimate things you can do in the game. Holy shit. Thank you,
Oh my
Sakan.
god.
Well,
Oh, okay.
thank you, Sakan, for the 10 gifts. Yeah,
I
that would
I
get
I guess
everybody out of the Helios.
that works.
Um, so now at jail that you have to worry about. So we'll go ahead and start the stream. Um, or the stream's already started. We've been on for a while, just doing technical difficulties and
Begin the cringe fest.
yay! Oh, hail hydrate.
Hail hydrate. Especially
Oh,
since
you
this one's
didn't
going
narrate it.
last.
Oh god.
No, I hate narrating this. I don't know why I did that in the beginning. Wait, hold on. They couldn't use a new sound effect? They had to take Ace Combat 6s?
Also, what was how's sound balance on stream? Is it too loud?
Oh, I can't tell you.
I wasn't asking you. It's asking
That's
chat.
fine.
You're on the Discord call, man. I think I will lower the volume a little bit.
I thought this was Ace Combat, not Macross.
What's the difference?
Does the color of the sky mean anything special to you?
I mean,
Narration.
especially in Ace 6.
Not only is Avril now blind, but so are the rest of us. I hope you enjoyed being able to see.
Gramps was really good friends with the super there,
Thank you,
so
Zakia.
he got to take whatever he wanted, no questions asked.
I have a question. Aerial combat is key in Strange Real. Don't you think Osea would wonder why there's so much activity at their scrapyard, or why so many parts are suddenly missing? Satellites are a huge theme in this game. None of them could see the large burst of activity at the scrapyard?
Sly, it's in the script. Don't question it.
That's the whole point of these videos, to question what's in the script.
I actually never thought of it before because, you know, it was a scrapyard that the Oceans probably weren't going to be.
Like, yeah, like, because now I'm watching this all through the lens of, like, critiquing myself. It's like, yeah, it's probably not that big of a deal. It's a scrapyard. That's the whole point of a scrapyard, but still, it's like...
But I'm pretty sure the USAF does still at least post guards at their boneyards.
That's what I was going to say. You want some kind of security. That's still a lot of military hardware.
I was at the airstrip doing some flight training.
In what aircraft?
It took 6 years and 8 months to get that engine running.
What the hell were you doing that it would take over 6 years to get a plane engine going?
Machining all the engine parts and getting the rust off.
Well, no, you cut me off. Keep going.
You're telling me there wasn't a single running engine in the entire scrapyard? I hope you guys like seeing
Like,
Avril play.
Not a single running engine? Not one?
Nope. They were already looted by... They were already looted. Because
even then, like, you have a bunch of former pilots. It can't take you 6 years to figure that out.
we've already established in one of the earlier sins that Osea does not guard their boneyards, so the prime pieces have already been picked clean. If we're
Fusion's right, yeah.
every engine in the scrapyard just stopped working the moment they arrive. Pilots and non engineers. This is true.
No, you're right. But what I mean is that you put enough pilots in a room, they've got to be able to figure out faster than 6 years.
Not necessarily. If there's no mechanics among them, then...
But they had to have, like, interacted with mechanics. What was that Yellow 13 said? Pilots are responsible for their planes. You still got to know how your plane's running, and you still got to know...
That was Erusians. These are Oceans in peacetime.
Wow, so I guess it does fit. The Erusian was better than them, huh?
Well, we all know what peacetime Ocean military is like. They just kind of slack off.
Hold on. No, but here's the thing. Avril's grandfather and his buddies were from some war 2 wars ago, or whatever the hell.
They mean they weren't from the Circum-Pacific?
Oh, no.
Oh.
No. Her dad died in the Circum-Pacific, which is what soured her grandfather on the whole thing.
So were they Belka War?
I don't know. Because her grandfather had an encounter with Mihai. So...
Oh.
Like, the lore is all messed up. But they're building an F-104. That thing was a flying gas can. Actually, it was a flying missile. Because the damn thing couldn't turn. You could barely eject out of it. So
the
there's
correct
not that
term
complex of an...
is crotch rocket.
You're right. Thank you. The damn thing was a crotch rocket. They did not need this, like, they were not running some kind of B2 Spirit engine in there. They weren't running a Nighthawk engine in there. It was just, all you need is a car engine for that damn thing. But no,
you need a jet engine.
I know, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's...
No, yeah, it was definitely an early plane, and it's not a very good one. Hell, the only
Fusion-
reason why the Luftwaffe had so many of them is because Lockheed was basically selling them off at bargain bin prices. Because the USAF took one look at it, it's like, fuck, we ain't getting that.
Fusion,
So
the
Lockheed's like,
implication. Go ahead, Ross.
Lockheed was just like, what the hell are we gonna do with all these? Oh wait, Germany doesn't have a Luftwaffe because we kind of killed it in the last war. Here you go.
And they don't need it anymore. Fusion, the implication is that Mihai's last combat was in a war in 1991, which is likely the war that led to Erusia becoming a republic.
I'm just not sure what an Ocean pilot would be doing in.
We don't know. We have no idea. Yeah.
Anyway,
Playing with her fingernails, we get to see this weird shot a lot.
that is a very weird shot.
I thought Avril said
don't
she
know
was
why they
alone
keep
now.
doing that.
Who are these chumps? None of you can tell me that this scene isn't beautiful.
So when I got to the drag race, so to speak,
Hey, Cross.
hi Cross.
Drag racer. Why didn't I just call it a drag racer? Anyway, continue.
First time I got to that kind of point, I'm not gonna lie, manly tears may have been shed.
Oh, I've said this many times, and I'll keep saying it. ACF and I were both tearing up when we played it at Bandai Namco's company headquarters.
I mean, I know that A7 is very much a return to form, but Drag Racer is basically the game telling you you're back home.
Yeah, the swelling music and everything, an actual takeoff. Yeah.
It's beyond me how they got the sonic boom working in the cutscenes but not in the gameplay. We've had it since Ace Combat 4.
I never
Then
noticed
I
that.
saw OCS fighters. They were tailing something.
I missed that.
A drone. They were going full out chasing that thing. Doing 30 Gs at least.
I hope she was talking about the drone because if the fighters were doing that, those pilots would be dead now.
It had a rose painted on it.
So,
The Erusian emblem.
guess what?
What?
That is not just a mistranslation. That is such a gross mistranslation. There was no number in the Japanese. They don't say 30 Gs. They say like it's doing an insane number of Gs. It's like
I would
I
say
don't know
like
exactly
maybe
what it was,
7
but,
to 8 Gs.
but they don't give a number in the Japanese. The English localizers added that 30, which makes no sense. If
30
something was
would,
doing 30 Gs, it would be ripping itself apart.
not to mention that your spine would shrink by about its entire length. Just go.
Well, no, it was referring to the drone, but
Oh.
even then, 30 Gs on a drone is going to tear that thing into pieces.
Yeah. If Drag Racer is welcome home, then Charge is sold as Guess Who's Back.
Here, Avril is demonstrating how Ace Combat pilots can see emblems and markings from literally miles away. Why the hell would you take off and go to the stratosphere without IFF? Even if Erusia's drones weren't here, someone in Osea would have noticed and launched fighters.
Yeah, to that point, if you try that in real life, I don't know about other countries, but in the United States,
Certainly in the
if
United States.
if you take off in a unregistered aircraft that doesn't have an IFF ping, every aircraft
Especially if you suddenly climb to fucking 30, 40,000 feet in a couple minutes.
At the very least, every ATC in the area is gonna know.
Yeah.
And try and go, hey, what the hell are you doing? And most likely, you're gonna get some F-16s on your tail. Going, land now.
In a post 9/11 world, we have F-16s and F-15s on standby now. It's not F-16s; they would be sending F-15s.
I
Those
guess
things
it
would break
depends
the
upon.
sound barrier to find what the hell is making.
Well,
What the hell is climbing that fast?
okay, if you took off in a homegrown F-104, yeah, the Eagles are getting sent up there. But if it's like a Cessna, an
Oh no,
Eagle is
no,
an
yeah.
overkill.
If it's a Cessna, you're no, yeah. They do send F-16s after Cessnas like that. But what I mean is like if ATC sees a sudden radar signature going 10,000 feet a minute, then yeah, the military's getting called ASAP.
Well, either the Eagles are going up, or if you're really, really out of luck, the Raptor might get its first air-to-air kill against a manned target. But yeah, a Disco Bird. Yeah.
Should have built a deterrent too.
Actually, the F-104 is not built to turn. It was built to take off, shoot
I
down
know.
bomber, and land.
I know, but
What do you call this then?
what do you call this
You
then?
have all been
That
instrumental in helping to
is
maintain
a
peace
turn
in
radius
Tunisia
the
as
size
members
of
of the
Texas.
International Union
I don't care.
Peacekeeping
It's still a
Force.
turn.
Fuck off with this joint assault shit.
Earlier, our radar site informed us that a group of unidentified aircraft was approaching.
And here we have the Ace Combat staple of showing us exactly what these supposed unidentified aircraft look like.
It's possible that the Yuzhn ceasefire agreement has been broken.
We don't know what they are, but we've got people giving us visuals of what looks like a bomber. But we
don't
can't
know
be
what they are.
100% certain. So we're going with unidentified.
We don't know what they are. Here is the clearest picture anyone has ever seen of this Tu-95. Anyway, don't know what this is.
Just go up, I don't know, make it go away. Don't shoot it though, because
Just tell them to shoot.
just if it looks like if it looks like a bear, flies like a bear, it's a fucking bear. Just call him bogeys. Bogey would make more sense because bogey is unidentified friend or foe. You don't know who it is, but you know what it is. Then it either goes to friendly because you pick up the IFF and it says, "Hey, I'm friend," or bandit, which means kill it. But yeah,
Okay,
unidentified.
Ember. In Thunder Blockhead's defense, it was an SR-71. That's you would rather something like that land and you get them
Interrogate
to
them.
give you the intel.
Interrogate
you'd
the
rather
pilots.
interrogate them than fire on them.
But the do not fire upon the fighter escort that is currently shooting you. Fuck that. I'm shooting back.
Well,
For the
say
first
hell,
time.
the thing is, they did bomb their facilities, so
That's very much bandits.
yeah. So they do classify as bandits, but
But yeah, I don't know what the Ocean ROE is, but the American ROE is, hey, if they shoot you, you can shoot back.
assume the same.
Time in over a decade.
It's not just possible, they literally attacked the radar site, so we know for a fact it's broken. Besides, a ceasefire agreement implies a temporary halt as opposed to a treaty. Last I checked, we vaporized all of Erusia's territory, captured the capital, the Supreme Commander died, and the remaining Erusians accepted surrender to ISAF. That wasn't a ceasefire, they literally lost the war.
As of today, the Fort Grays Air
Spin.
Base Squadron of the IUPF.
Fuck off with this joint assault shit. The IUN logo is literally right there.
We're under attack.
So
Actually-
I didn't explain that very well because I got a lot of confused comments about it.
The IUN stuff.
The IUPF stuff, because
Oh.
not enough people understood what I was referencing with the joint assault stuff.
IUP. Yeah. I got it because
No, I know you got it.
joint
what were you
assault
gonna
is my
say?
guilty pleasure. To me, joint assault is so bad it's good. But what I was
It's
gonna
the
say
only
is
way you can enjoy it.
I do like the leaf logo for the IUN.
I love that logo. I love that logo a lot. It's so simplistic, but it signifies exactly what's going on.
Numerous unidentified aircraft confirmed overhead. How is that possible?
Your radar site was destroyed. Do the math.
Trigger, call sign is page 2. Verify and read back.
So, are we also going to go out on a limb and say that maybe Ameria is not the only strange real entity that intelligence is a dump stat?
Well, no, because Osea has very good warmongering capabilities.
So does Ameria. It's called the RCL.
Well, that's the thing. Ameria's warmongering capabilities are solely down to their insane special weapons and their insane unit synergy. Osea's is per its intelligence. So, no,
But I was referring to the IUN.
Well, no, you said Osea.
Entity.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
because the IUN was they've been what's the word? Gimped, because they were like Osea basically took over the whole thing. So yeah. No, yeah, I'll give you that, yeah.
I would if I wasn't an Ace Combat protagonist who couldn't talk.
It's showtime, Trigger. Let's see if you can handle the spotlight.
No, Ember, what I meant
You're a good pilot.
was the just the very referencing of the IUPF, not the not spelling out the name. That doesn't matter. Unless they did it multiple times, but no, just the fact that they reused IUPF at all, and that in itself is a bit of.
I thought it was the IUNTKF.
It is sometimes. It's different. It changes. That's the issue. The English localizers decided sometimes it's IUPF, but if I remember correctly, the kanji is different. I don't know.
So, what we've learned is that going from Japanese to English
No.
is a little bit
Every
more
Ace
challenging than one might think.
No. Yes, it is. And every Ace Combat game and every other Japanese game that has ever been localized into English has always had some kind of inconsistencies. That's not the issue. The issue is the specific localization of 7 is god awful. This game's English localization is shit. It is complete fucking shit. And I intend on at some point making a video calling out the companies that did this, because holy shit, if Bandai Namco rehires them for 8, we are so fucked. The lore is going to be so fucked, because they already fucked up the lore with this one, with the fucking mixing up the wars from 4 and 5. I am. They have reference material. There's no excuse.
Oh, red.
We'll get there. But no, this game's localization is so fucked that there's no excuse for it. There's no fucking excuse.
Well, yeah, a lot
This is
of
the worst localization of all of
a lot of
Combat.
English localization things these days are just not
No, they're
staying
better
true.
these days. They're better these days.
Oh, I know
Because
for
it
a
used to
while
be
they,
that-
both in games and in anime, they were kind of
Oh, for sure.
taking
for sure.
liberties.
When you, listen, nothing is better than the jelly donuts. All right. Nothing's better than the rice balls being changed into jelly donuts.
Hey, I like the
Rice
4Kids dub of Pokemon.
I like it too, but I'm just saying we're not in that era anymore. This is a product of that era. 7's localization is a product of 90s era localization, and it is real awful.
So I told him. I had to fill an empty spot, so play along. It's still a leash, though.
Trigger's backstory
Also, R.I.P. English Clown.
Mm.
Yeah, I wish we got more of him, but you know.
Trying to remember, what was his name?
Brad Venable.
Yes, thank you.
of somehow being manipulated into the Air Force would have been infinitely more interesting than the standard Ocean good guy story we're about to get.
Well, What? Are you kidding
Literally
me right
Area.
now?
Trigger's whole situation is literally Area 88.
Hold on. I need to go.
You still haven't seen Area 88, have you?
Oh, I've seen the OVA. Floof had it.
Oh,
And he
okay.
let me borrow
Then
it.
yeah, well, no, go back to Clown's lines. Not what I said, but Clown's lines, because he's literally.
See if you can
he's
handle the
literally,
spotlight. You're a good
Shin's
pilot.
old childhood friend.
So I told him. I had to fill an empty spot, so play along. It's still a leash, though.
Trigger's backstory of somehow being manipulated into the Air Force would have been infinitely more interesting than the standard Ocean good guy story we're about to get.
Okay.
Like, tell me you can't see that Clown would have made Trigger drunk and sign a contract to join the Air Force. Based on what he said, it's still a leash, though. Like, come on.
Well,
That would've
I
been cool.
mean, I never got that part because when you volunteer for at least the American military, you have to serve a tour of duty. And while on that tour, you're on a leash.
Well, sure, but the way that Clown gives those lines, it's as if Trigger was a janitor and Clown just pulled him in the hallway during their sortie order.
I kind of got the fact that he was originally just supposed to be an OADF pilot, and then he got pulled into this IUN bullshit.
Well, but what he said was, "You're a good pilot," or so I told him. I had to fill an empty spot, so play along. Like, it doesn't sound like Trigger was a pilot, or at least was intending to be here.
I don't know. But my thing
Oh
here
yeah,
was
it gets thrown out the window in Mission 4, but
yeah. My whole thing was the standard Ocean good guy story we're about to get. Granted, the Ocean protagonists we've played are your standard good guy, but name an Ace Combat game with Osea being featured where Osea is 100% a good guy.
oh no, I meant I was referring to Trigger, not
Oh, okay.
not Osea.
Because I was gonna say, in the Balkan War, they decide to firebomb an entire city, and
rip up the Treaty of Non-Aggression,
and extend the war beyond what they needed to. They were there to liberate Osea, or not Osea, but Ustio. And then they decided there might be WMGs. We got to investigate. And totally not. Let's seize. No, they're not wrong. But they should have just said, we just want to seize Balkan resources. At least they'd be honest. And then in Ace 5, well, part of that is...
They were just blinded. They and Yuktabani were just blinded.
But there were people that went along with it.
Yeah, but that is a lot more realistic to real life.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, both of those are realistic to real life. But people just turning the other cheek just because it benefits them, like, come on, especially in politics. Yeah, that fits. That tracks.
What, you're saying that politicians are corrupt? Oh my god. I don't know how I'm going to take this mind-shattering revolution.
Revelation. I can't believe I just implied that politicians are out for themselves and not for their country.
And then in this game, as we'll see, Osea's got some pretty questionable manpower practices.
Listen, I want to make clear that this sin, the way that I worded it, was specifically that
for Trigger.
I would have loved I would have loved an Area 88-esque story, especially once we get drafted into the Penal Squadron, because that was literally setting up for 88. But with this, like, I don't dislike 7's story. In fact, I actually really enjoy 7's story. But it is pretty bog standard for an Ace Combat. It could have been a lot
I think they went more safer with this game.
They had to.
Because the last couple games where they took risks it kind of bit him in the butt. So like, oh, go return to form so we don't die.
I've said it over and over. They needed to remember how to make an Ace Combat game,
Yeah.
and for that goal, 7 blew it out of the water.
Yep. All
Like,
right.
sure, we would have loved the more unique stories.
Are you kidding me right now?
Wingman Command and operations and all that shit. But
Co-op campaign.
if they can't even get the core gameplay and the core story
Yeah.
right, then none of that.
I
all of
think
that is
we'll
just
see a
fluff after
bit
the fact.
more branching
Yeah.
out in
We'll
8.
definitely see more. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Agil's coming in, but thanks to AWACS Sakale, everyone here's fucking subs. So I'm just
They're
gonna say
immune to
power
Helios.
through it.
Jesus, this is the kind of
Yeah,
shit that really
Cross, yeah.
chaps my ass.
What the hell was that line?
International Union Peacekeeping Force.
Okay, so my headcanon is that Knocker is from whatever the Ocean equivalent of the Sticks is. Maybe Texas. Because he
Put it in
sounds
Louisiana.
Texan. Or like
Oh,
a
dear Lord.
Texan that's trying to be, professional and keep as much of the, the Texan sayings out of his.
Play the video.
Okay.
Many wars are lost by failing to recover from the opening blows.
Someone should tell that to the protagonists of all previous Ace Combat games. We've done nothing but save countries that couldn't recover from the opening blows.
They speculate the drones were secretly transported to Osea in shipping containers and launched remotely.
How did they get away with putting them into containers in the first place?
During the air raid, the Ocean Air Force...
How did the Erusian News Network get footage from an Ocean plane?
20 years ago,
Stop
the Earth
thinking.
got slammed by an asteroid.
Okay.
Exposition. The Ulysses backstory has been mentioned so many times, it's like we're watching Uncle Ben or the Wayne family die again.
No, my parents. Did you say Martha?
Why did you say that name?
Refugees swarmed the Erusian Republic, the biggest country on the continent,
No, I've not actually seen it. I
plunging
just
it
know
into
the
chaos.
Please
They were
don't.
desperate and started
I wasn't
a war,
planning on it.
one they had no hope of winning. That's the war my dad fought and died in. The biggest nations from 2 continents went head to head, and the so-called righteous Oceans struck the deal that ended it.
Contradicting statements. We know for a fact that Avril's dad died in the Circum-Pacific War, confirmed through outside material. That's the war my dad fought and died in, should have said something like, my dad died in a different war. Just as well, because I won't let Ace Combat 7 imply Ace Combat 4 was non-canon by claiming that ISAF was actually on Osea's payroll. Let Mobius 1 have his glory, dammit.
2 things. One,
Oh, hold on. Zakale, exposition is always a sin, per Cinema Sins rules. That's all. Go ahead.
the thing I had wrong with that thing that Avril was saying was that Osea struck the deal, kind of implying that Osea kind of strong-armed their way being the victor or anything. That's not how the Circum-Pacific War ended. It ended when Harling and Nicanor, I knew it began with an N, got in front of everybody on international TV in Bright Hill, shaking hands, just like Captain Anderson said to do because he is wise beyond his years. And then having a coalition of Yuktobanians and Oseans fight the Grey Men and their duped puppets.
I don't disagree with you.
It was a
but
mutual end to the war.
I don't disagree with you, but that is our, as the players, view on it. Because we were the ones that saved Nicanor and sent him to Harling. From the public's view, to have Nicanor just randomly show up in Bright Hill, to everyone else, it would definitely seem like Osea or Harling strong-armed him into showing up. Remember that the vice president was claiming that Harling wasn't even like legit, or like he was spreading propaganda or stuff. Like, to Avril, it very well could have seemed like Osea strong-armed Yuktobania into a peace deal.
Yeah,
And
Zakhael, Avril
besides,
definitely seems very much anti-Ocean.
oh, that too. But besides, we also don't know exactly how the peace treaty after that went.
Well, seeing as how Yuktobania seems to be doing just fine,
No, yeah.
I'm
but-
pretty sure it was a mutually beneficial treaty. Unlike,
yeah, but
say, the
it's not. It wouldn't be inaccurate to say the Oseans were the righteous ones that struck the deal. Like, you know.
But let's put it this way: the implication that Avril at least gave me was that she thought that, or she was implying that the treaty that Osea struck was similar to the one that ended the Balkan War, which that's not how it happened. Yuktobania and Osea very much came away from the Circum-Pacific War battered and bruised, but it was more of a, hey, let's just stop fighting and just focus
I
on
know,
rebuilding.
but think of it from the aspect of, like, to the public, Osea were the heroes of the day because it was an Osean squadron that saved everyone, and Yuktobania
No,
had
it
mostly
wasn't.
fallen to Osea already.
It was not an
Well,
Ocean
no.
squadron.
You know what I mean.
The Ghosts of Rosgrees do not officially exist
You know
until
what I
2020.
mean. Everyone had basically pieced together by then that it was Harling's personal squadron.
But officially, they flew no markings other than their squadron
Yes,
emblem.
but they were still an Osean squadron because they were under the command of the Osean president.
It's just like how Area 51 totally doesn't have super secret tech that the government doesn't want you to know about in it. It's just an Air Force base, guys.
Yeah,
Also,
to the
isn't-
public, it would have seemed like Osea were the big heroes of the day. So I'm fine with Avril because remember that she's a bit of a unreliable narrator. So I'm fine with her saying that it was her takeaway from it.
Well, I don't think any of the other previous protagonists would care enough to drag
Oh no.
A mechanic and correct her on her opinions. Cypher, we have no idea where he is. Mobius one is chilling in North Point. Blaze is raising a kid, and Talisman is being Amaria's Boy Scout. Tell me I'm wrong.
Cross. That's not what I meant. What I meant was that Avril putting it in the way of Avril explaining the end of the Circum-Pacific War the way that she did is fine to me because of her perspective and how
Well,
she
it's
would
actually
view
a
it.
it's actually a trope. It's called the unreliable narrator.
That's what I said. Yeah. So that's fine.
It's a
I
literary
didn't mean that
device.
in general. I just meant for that specific line.
Isn't Avril one of those so-called righteous Oseans?
Erusian forces took control of the space elevator without spilling a single drop of blood.
You can't tell me a military operation to seize the space elevator resulted in no one being harmed whatsoever. Speaking of which, the space elevator has to be the most protected location on Earth. How did Erusia even manage to take it over in the first place?
Well, we find out later why.
No, we don't actually.
The ISEV was basically run by Grunder, who is secretly bankrolling Erusia.
You're talking about the drones. You're not the space elevator. The drones are basically run by Grunder. They're certainly being manufactured by Grunder, but the We actually still don't understand how Erusia managed to take the space elevator so easily. There's no explanation for that.
I'm just saying Grunder because I mean, if the Oseans are dumb
Erusia
enough,
enacted the dibs law. Osea never called dibs. Harling never called dibs.
well, here's the thing: it says international, so nobody has dibs on it yet. But no, I mean, if Osea is dumb enough to not dissolve Grunder after the Second Pacific War, they deserve
whatever
this.
they got to them. No, they deserved everything that happened to them in this game. But still, like, Grunder's logo is on the drone manufacturing plant attached to the space elevator, but we don't know that they were actually involved with anything to do with the space elevator itself. And it makes sense that Grunder was attached to the drone program because they developed Zone of Endless, they developed all the AI stuff, they had the engineers.
Grunder also has the keys to Osean security.
Apparently. Still.
I mean, if they make the shit, they make back doors into it. It's not that hard.
I know, but that's never actually explained here.
I kind of figured that they just didn't need to say that.
You can make those theories. And they probably are the best theories, but it still isn't explained anywhere in the game. Or even in the outside material. There's no explanation for how they just managed to get the space elevator.
So Osea may have intelligence, but wisdom is their dumb stat.
Oh, 100%. 500%. Absolutely.
Then, while that was going on, the Erusian ships that were docked all around Osea released a swarm of drones.
Hang on just 7 nuclear seconds. Why is Grunder still in business after everything that happened? Why didn't Osea dissolve the company after Ace Combat 5 proved that Grunder was serving as a front for terrorism against Osea?
In case you were wondering, yeah, I survived.
That's basically like if the United States figured out that Lockheed was
they were funding
manipulating
Chinese.
America and Russia into fighting each other so they could fund the military-industrial complex. Wait
and then America's like, oh, that was weird. Anyway, we'll take another Lockheed contract.
Wait a second. They might be doing that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow, I sure couldn't figure that one out, Avril. Thanks for spelling it out for me.
I was tried, found guilty, and stuffed into a cargo ship.
Wait, you're telling me Avril, a non-military officer, was given a proper trial for her actions but was found guilty? She was arrested officially on charges of wartime aviation. She must have had a really bad attorney to lose that trial, given the witnesses at the scrapyard that could corroborate her side of the story.
I think that might be another mistranslation. Because if you're convicted or if you're charged with a military crime, you do not get a trial, you get a tribunal. And you don't...
Oh.
It's
well, if
different.
She was tried as a civilian, though.
I don't know. I just know that military court is different than civilian court.
Again, remember, unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
To any civilian, it would still be a trial.
Hell, they might not even given her a tribunal. They might just said, "Hey, you're guilty."
Well, that's the thing. I would have preferred that, but they specifically said that she was put on trial. So who the hell was her defense attorney? It had to have been Saul Goodman, and he had to have been on a bad day.
No. Public defender.
Says you have rights, and so do I.
It's a public defender.
Miles Edgeworth. No, he's not a defense attorney.
He's a prosecutor.
Which means that actually he could have prosecuted that case. That's probably how he won.
But half the tanker trucks were just big balloons.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
That's
the
actually
whole place
how
was just
D-Day
one
went.
big fat lie.
Take a drink whenever you see Avril playing with her fingernails.
They wanted.
Please don't. I don't want to be
like
responsible
3-4
for
drinks.
liver
fine.
damage.
It's fine. It's like 4 drinks.
Me to make something out of the mothballed planes they brought that they could park on the fake runway.
Why? They already have the planes. She didn't need to make them fully functional if the point was to fool Aruja from above. They only did this to have an excuse for the 444th to fly planes later. You can to obtain.
Okay, recruits.
You
Pay
can't
attention to who's on
obtain.
what side. The newest IFF is connected to our entire force via satellites. It's reliable, so trust your radars.
Foreshadowing.
The clouds don't just...
Oh yeah, by the way, is this your footage or is this ACX?
Guys. Mine.
Oh, okay.
Because I specifically chose the planes that I believe are canon during the playthrough.
Cool.
affect your field of vision. They also mess with your HUD and radar.
Military
If I can record
radar
my own
uses
footage, I will.
frequencies that aren't affected by clouds, so aircraft hiding from radar inside of clouds doesn't actually work.
What it will do is, especially on older models, it can slightly throw off heat seekers.
Sure.
So the Sidewinders, or the basic missiles, those are supposed to be heaters. That actually I can see, but your 4 AAMs, no, they should have no problem being locked on.
More to the point was that on radar, them hiding and stuff is like, that's not realistic.
Oh,
I do
so
like it as a
can the
gameplay
sun,
mechanic, I will
but
say.
doesn't have it. That's why I said older generation Sidewinders.
They do play with that during the final fight with Mihai, because he does fly towards the sun, and they put that in the dialogue.
But the thing that will throw it off is it will kind of, since clouds are a form of condensed water vapor, it will actually kind of muffle the heat signature instead of the sun being the big bright beacon of hit me, and the Sidewinder being a moth and going like, I must go to light.
If your plane is about to explode, I don't think you have much leeway to point your nose towards uninhabited land. And that's if it doesn't break up before
Brother,
then.
I crave the forbidden heat signature.
I knew you would speak a language we can understand.
Foreshadowing.
Nimbus!
Keep your mind focused.
Yes, let's just ignore the large blue explosion that absolutely no one cares to explain. I'm sure that won't come back ever again.
I do wish that at least one of them would go, what the fuck was that? Plus 100 sins for Belka being shoehorned. Welcome,
Calamitous.
Calamitous. Yeah, please, Project Aces. For
Again-
Ace Combat 8.
Again, I don't
No
mind
Belka.
I don't mind what they did here, especially if they needed to return to form. But
No, I
let's move
get
on.
it. It's just,
Let's
I-
move on.
I don't want
HQ, this is
Belka.
Column 1. Bandits confirmed as UAVs. Column 1, that doesn't matter.
After the last mission where you were begging for intel, I'm pretty sure it matters right now.
The ship's moored around the space elevator and near Gandar Bay.
Okay, if I really wanted to point out every
It's just
grammatical error, especially in subtitles, I've had plenty of opportunities in each game.
Yeah.
But this is one that's not getting
Yuktobanian
away
is
with
clearly
it.
Gunther
Gunther Bay is literally labeled
And,
right there on the map.
Um,
And it was spelled correctly in other areas of the game, even
Belkin
in Mission
is
1.
This
German.
is one,
If you're going
so
to
this
screw
is one of
something
those
up at
fucking localization things that piss me off so much, because they got it right once and then they fucked it up another time.
If you're gonna screw something up, at least screw it up consistently.
Exactly.
Be consistent in your bullshit. Hello, May. Welcome to
Hi,
stream.
May.
at least screw it up
Are
consistently.
you here to hear me scratch my throat from yelling at this game's localization?
Oh, I thought you were just gonna bang your head against a wall and give yourself a migraine.
I'm already doing that. Don't worry.
Or a
I'm already
concussion.
there.
Okay.
No. We're in concussion territory. Now I need to break my throat. No, Calamitous, I understand, but at least screw it up consistently.
May is here to bully you for calling your video cringe.
It is cringe. It is cringe. I made a bunch of errors and I want to redo this.
Ask
No,
if the-
no. I don't mean that. I like. So I was telling Roz before we started, and I've said this before. I'm actually kind of really proud of the Project Wingman video. Like that's my favorite of the ones that I've done. But especially 5 and 4, especially those fucking voiced intros. I cringe so goddamn hard at those. But this one is less of a cringe, more of a God, I'm so annoyed I made some of these errors kind of thing. So in that way, it's more like when you look at your own art and you're like, God damn it, I see this and that. And I'm like that with this one. So
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way with some of my older streams.
I'm watching you too.
I would say I'm watching the chat. Does that count?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Because she's in chat.
Instantly.
Kestrel 2 is now preparing to launch another attack against Erusia's capital, Farbanti.
Okay.
Here we go.
The Kestrel 2 should have been on screen.
It is on screen right now, actually.
No, like in mission. No,
we didn't play a mission with it.
It's brought up just for nostalgia bait, and then immediately, like,
I go into that. Yeah, it's just nostalgia bait.
Oh yeah, that worked so well the first time.
Of course he knew what I meant.
The aircraft carrier Vulture also managed to escape Gandar
He's giving
Bay
me
safely.
shit.
One more sin for Gandar Bay. Also, why is it not Vulture 2 like Kestrel 2?
Today, the International Union Peacekeeping Force, the Osean Army headed up the development of the massive Arsenal birds and dispatched them to the space elevator to provide support.
Again, how the hell did Erusia capture the space elevator?
Pause.
Yes, Calamitous?
Cola. Go back to the Vulture. Okay.
Going back to the Vulture. Bottom right?
It says Albatross on the left.
Oh, no, that's pointing at the Vulture is pointing at the actual Vulture. The Albatross is pointing at the one on Fort Gray's Island. Because the Vulture is not listed on the left. It's only showing up on the right. Do you see the in between World Map Ally Forces and Kestrel 2, there is the tiny Vulture pointing as well as the tiny Kestrel 2 pointer.
From what I'm seeing is that there's multiple ships on that same point.
If you move left and right, if you scrub a little bit, don't you see? Oh, not that far. I meant with the
So well the first time.
comma and period.
The aircraft carrier Vulture also managed to escape Gandar Bay safely.
Go a little bit before, because the way that the lines move, you can see that it's. No, I know, I remember that, but I do believe that that's been fixed, if I remember correctly.
Don't you see? I always just assumed that the Albatross was a support ship because a carrier never goes alone.
The Albatross was the it was the one that was sunk at the. It was the carrier that was sunk at Fort Grace in the first mission. It's next to the base. You fly over it.
Maybe they repaired it. I don't know. Fixing the
No.
final
The Albatross is sunk.
But I forgot the left. I don't know.
I'll have to look at that myself later.
Albatross is also the carrier launch from.
Yes.
I've never played the VR missions because VR will give me migraines.
You're not missing anything.
One more sin for Gandar.
Migraines, then it's just what you expect is VR.
The thing about Vulture 2, Kestrel 2, in the U.S. Navy, you just rename the ship. There's no second.
Yeah, they don't do 2. The Kestrel 2 is the outlier. So
yeah.
If they wanted to do Kestrel 2, then they should have done Vulture 2. But the correct thing would have just to call it Kestrel. But
because
the correct thing would have had to have not had a Kestrel at all.
Yeah. Or at least have the Kestrel show up at maybe, I don't know, mission 19 and 20.
That would have been the better thing instead of the Admiral Anderson. I don't mind that they did that, but if you want to bring the Kestrel back,
yeah.
But
no, in the Navy,
also Zakale, it was in 5.
They have different registries, so like Enterprise. We have
Yeah,
CV6,
the Enterprise is the classic example.
CVN65, and now I think CVN80 something. Kestrel the sequel.
And of course,
Darbe.
NCC.
Also, why is it not
That's Star
Vulture 2
Trek.
like Kestrel 2?
Today, the International Union Peacekeeping Force, the Osean Army, headed up the development of the massive Arsenal birds and dispatched them to the space elevator to provide support.
Again, how the hell did Aruja capture the space elevator if it was being protected by 2 Arsenal birds? Also, the Arsenal birds are getting explained and their patrol path cuts right through Choppenberg. I wonder what surprise enemy we're going to face in this mission.
Trigger time to show the other guys that we get wet.
I mean, I don't mind that sin because that's exactly how Ace 4 warned you about Stonehenge in the power plant mission.
It wasn't as overt. It wasn't as overt. It was very like I surprise a lot of people every time I bring it up.
Yeah. I kind of got it when I did my first playthrough, but
It took me years to notice it myself.
look, here's Clem's. What's your question? Oh, you're typing it probably.
Well, that's the question. It's right there. Don't you see? Don't you see?
You don't, do you? Extremely confused about the Burbs and the war with regards to one thing.
We can keep watching while he types out.
And wild and do dirty, dirty things.
I'm so conflicted on whether I want to send this. It's a stupid line, but it's so hilariously stupid. I'm leaving it to you guys in the chat in the comments.
Why were the Burbs not the reason the war started?
Because Aruja didn't want weapons, they wanted the energy. Remember that this all started because of an energy crisis.
I think politically, Osea slaved them to the ISAF. So Osea wasn't really in direct control to begin with. They were programmed
Yeah, technically it wasn't theirs, yeah.
protect the ISAF. Surely the giant death fortresses with lasers and 80 drones that fly over Russian territory are a bigger threat than environmental concerns. I mean, yeah, I get it.
Environmental concerns was their political spin on it. The point was that
they wanted the unlimited energy from the ISAF.
Yeah, the whole continent has been under an energy crisis since Ulysses fell. And that was the best way that the warmongers were able to sell it to Avril. Fucking Christ.
Cassette.
Hello,
Starscream. Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, Princess Avril Mead of the Osean Federation. That hurt to say. That really hurt to say. Besides, they knew that the Arsenal birds. They knew that the Arsenal birds weren't actually a threat to them or any of the other countries that they were flying over, because the whole point was to just defend the space elevator. Except it didn't work, did it?
Wouldn't the two birds be an excellent part of spinning it politically? Probably.
Listen, you're getting into the weeds because when you try to world build too much, it cuts away from the fact that this is an Ace Combat game.
Yeah, this is basically an unrealistic arcade game where you get up in a. I mean, it's a simulator where it puts you into where you simulate being Maverick, especially with the Top Gun DLC.
Well, calamitous, especially given the history of terrorist attacks in Strange Real. It's not. I don't think that would have been that much of an issue.
Also, given the Usean continent's history since Ulysses, it's not exactly the most stable continent.
Also, keep in mind that the space elevator has it saw its share of protests, but it wasn't they only started the war after it was almost finished.
Oh, I thought it was.
Well, I say mostly because of the fucking spaceship thingy. Where was I going with this?
I don't know.
If all remember that the whole point was that they convinced Cassette that this was a gross like invasion of
Overreach.
Erusian territory. It's like they would have the sensible thing would have been to do that 8 years ago, but they didn't.
Yeah.
So
Because they wanted the tower. And they wanted
I know.
OC to fit the bill.
I know, Calamitous. I know.
Anyway, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
Ace Combat and its demons.
Because
Your
they gave
fingers
us
should still move, even if you're in a 9G turn.
I get the feeling Knocker has never actually been in a 9G turn. Sure, I haven't either, but that doesn't mean I can't call him out on it.
9G turn means blackout.
You can't tell me
Possible
that the
G-lock.
Arsenal bird was hiding in a cloud the entire way over here.
Golem Squadron, take out Big Baby Huey.
What the fuck?
Skykeeper, I repeat, maintain air superiority.
We've already lost half of Skeleton Squadron and nearly Brownie. Any simpleton can read the situation.
Run!
All squadrons, command has ordered a complete withdrawal. Leave the operation area immediately.
Brilliant observation. Figure it earlier, or else would have survived to hear it.
Random gargoyle pilot would be great at CinemaSins.
Retreating aircrafts, prepare for combat.
Is that random gargoyle pilot the spiritual successor to Chopper?
There's plenty of characters that would have been good at CinemaSins.
It's a bogey. Gargoyle 1, Golem 2,
But yes, that was
engage
very
now.
popular.
Attack.
I feel like Skykeeper violated rules of engagement. Golem 2's aircraft is damaged and barely combat capable, and Gargoyle 1 was escorting her away from combat. If they had gone on an open channel and explained that, Mihai should have spared them. Then again, it's debatable if Ace Combat has ever paid attention to rules of engagement.
Okay, so my biggest complaint with Skykeeper is he did send Golem to Brownie and Gargoyle 1 to their deaths.
Yeah.
It's likely, even if they didn't say that they were wounded, that Mihai would... I'm pretty sure Mihai would have ignored them if they stayed on their current exit vector, because his orders were to get combat data on the drones.
Actually, no. He flew here on his own volition.
Oh.
He wasn't
Well,
running on orders.
then he probably would have gone after somebody that would have provided him more of a challenge. Then
Also, no. What Schroeder said was that Mihai came here because he wanted to see for himself why the drones are being taken down so easily. So, like, your main point stands, because what he would have done is flew all the way to Trigger and seen what the hell Trigger was up to.
And then probably would have tried to engage Trigger because of his pilot ego.
But because Skykeeper told Golem 2 and Brownie
to attack.
No, Gargoyle 1 and Golem 2 to engage and attack. Yeah. No, send them to their deaths. 100%.
Skykeeper, Gargoyle 1 lost.
What the hell?
Ow, my ears.
I can't shake it off. It's matching me move for move.
Golem 2, stop dogfighting and run.
Knocker is a dick. Stop yelling from a distance and go help her.
I don't get it. Why isn't it opening fire?
Why did Mihai choose to decimate Gargoyle 1 but play around with Brownie?
Because Mihai is a sadistic bastard, and anybody who looks up to Mihai probably should examine why they do. Mihai is not a good character. He is not honorable. He is not like Yellow 4, or not Yellow 4, but Yellow 13 was a very honorable man.
You got the right lessons from Mihai.
Yeah. Whereas Mihai is a predator who dooms the world simply because he wants to keep flying and doesn't realize you can still fly as a fucking civilian.
There are air shows.
Yeah. You don't have to be a military pilot in order to keep flying. He just
He
wanted
liked the shooty bang bang.
Yeah, he wanted the shooty bang bang. So, yeah. Mihai is evil.
Next mission, they all point fingers at Trigger
what
and
the hell
forget.
did you think was gonna happen?
But Mihai is good.
He's well written, yeah.
Yeah, he's a well-written
Yeah,
character.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fair enough, Calamus. He is a much more well-written character than other arcade enemy aces. Who will go over in the next video.
Today. Well, that one I still have to do a video on, but
You've already done the one about the one I'm talking about.
no, I was quoting Faust.
Oh.
He saved their asses.
Exactly,
Skykeeper,
Mikhail.
where's the one that got brony?
I'm afraid he's long gone by now.
He cannot have escaped that quickly.
The aircraft carrier Kestrel II was sunk during the attack on Farbanti.
What a waste of a callback. We didn't even get to see it in combat.
Here he comes.
I know Obo Shoes Games made this joke first, but what was Schroeder doing just then? Tying his shoes?
The drones we based on his data were being...
Also, this is evil Ghost Eye. Because same voice actor.
taken down at a faster rate now, compared to when the war began. When Mihai found that out, he insisted on flying to the front lines to see it for himself.
Except he didn't witness anything to do with the drones. He just shot down 2 human-flown aircraft and paced out of there.
Today, after 28 years, he saw
Oh yeah,
combat
Schroeder's
again.
dead.
28...
Oh, don't worry, we'll get there.
What the hell happened in 1991?
How penal is this penal unit, you ask? This place is a shithole.
Avril Mead, everyone. Absolute master of the English language.
Everything from flea-ridden guards, rabid dogs, and a mechanic doing the stretch for life.
Avril has a life sentence? And maybe after all of her failed escape attempts, but that still seems pretty drastic for her so-called crime.
I bet you're wondering, if Erusea lost the
Hell,
war,
hydrate.
how come they still have a spy satellite? Because someone over there was smart enough to train a bunch of computer nerds to hack into half of Osea's satellites. That's how come.
It doesn't answer why Osea didn't counter-hack or remotely shut down those satellites.
Again, wisdom is a dump stat.
No one does satellites better than Osea. You can't tell me they didn't have safeguards on them. Also, I wonder who trained them. Who in the world could have possibly... Yes, of course some Belkin was involved.
Of course it was a Belkin.
Every now and again, I'd try to bust out. And every single time, those damn dogs would drag me right back.
How do you still have your legs?
Osea's former president, Mr.
Forgot
Harlan.
about that.
Always somehow involved in...
How do you still have your legs?
I forgot about that sin.
It would make sense. She's getting drugged back by dogs. They're not exactly gentle with their teeth.
rescue missions, isn't he? Also, why haven't we heard anything from the current Osean president? You know, supposedly our commander-in-chief?
A military officer accompanying Mr. Harling hid him.
Because no one gives a shit about the current commander-in-chief. He's like, yeah, we voted for him, but fuck it, who cares?
Inside the facility. Both are waiting for a chance to escape.
How have the Erusians not found them? It's already been 3 weeks since the war broke out, and they control the elevator.
We will send a single aircraft through the network and send in a rescue team soon after.
Yeah, but is anyone going to explain how we dodged the Arsenal birds?
That's the neat thing. You don't.
Entering operation area. Imposing radio
We go
silence.
right into their airspace.
Will radio...
How did we sneak past them?
Plot shields.
Also,
It's more likely the Erusians saw it with the Arsenal bird, but they told the burb to let them come so they can pull something else later.
We don't know that. I listen. All of your theories, I don't disagree with, but I still have to sit it because that's not in the game.
I know. But this is how I give you shit.
Meh. Cross, I'm gonna need a source on, or an explanation on what's going on with DC Douglas.
I honestly don't pay attention to actors' personal lives. I find that.
I mean,
so
we've
much
had
easier.
a lot of voice actors actually coming out as like really shitty people, but I haven't heard anything legitimate or serious from DC Douglas.
They told the Arsenal Birds to let them what?
Let them pass, is what Ross said, or let them come. Oh, I see.
I meant
I
come
see.
into the AO. Come into the
What?
trap. And
Come
then
in what?
Get your minds out of the fucking gutter.
He has really shitty opinions. Well.
Oh no,
an
actor turns out to be a shitbag in real life. Surprise, surprise. That's like 90% of Hollywood.
But you are not permitted to make contact.
That's not how radio silence works.
Use of weaponry is also strictly forbidden.
Oh wow, finally, an Ace Combat game that takes radar avoidance a little more seriously by blocking weapon usage. Take a sin off for that. You can fly directly over Selotapura's airport without anyone noticing.
Hey, not only can you fly over Selotapura's airport with nobody noticing, you can fly over the city and no one notices. Slice Discord. Okay. What's on Slice Discord?
Empty. Slice Discord is empty.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything new. Whatever.
You got the wrong
wait,
slide.
there it is. Oh. He just posted it. It's a video clip of Ace X. I'll have to watch it afterwards because, I'm actually streaming.
Is there no way? Is there no way?
I won't be able to get sound.
Can't you open it in the same browser?
On my desktop, but I just don't want to show Discord on the stream.
No. I mean, if you go to Discord and then open it in a new tab, the video. Oh, well, actually, then you'd have to put the image back up temporarily.
So, I'll just watch it later. Or I can watch it now with. Let's see here. Maybe you guys can hear it from my headset. Okay, it's an Ace X thing. Oh, it's the cyberpunk thing. All right, you got me.
Harling is still the president in my eyes.
Is Skykeeper allowed to say that as a member of the armed forces? Does Osea have a First Amendment?
Probably.
Sea Goblin's landing zone.
I guess this island is tropical.
Although, the First Amendment doesn't always apply to military personnel.
I know, but we don't even know that it exists in the first place. So
fair enough.
I have questions about Skykeeper saying that on frequency.
Yeah.
I would
enough to count.
That now.
Way to go, Sea Goblin.
Rescue unit down. Belong to the soldier who had this radio.
Then how are you not captured? And who's shooting in the background?
We found an Erusian
Who's shooting in the background is Harling picked up one of the
Oh,
Dead
no.
Sea Goblin's guns and is just, dual wielding M4s like, ah!
This is not Metal Wolf Chaos.
What, you mean presidents aren't badass soldiers?
Harling? President Wilson from Metal Wolf Chaos is. I literally said Metal Gear. But
Lore accurate,
Harling? No.
Vincent Harling. Richard!
How convenient.
The call sign is Mother Goose 1.
Of course.
If I get back to it, I can do a lot of work.
Say what?
Metal Wolf Chaos.
Oh.
I got near the end, but it's really, really annoyingly difficult by the end. So I have to do a bunch of grinding to upgrade weapons and shit.
Oh yeah. Harling survived. He got punted in an alternate universe and changed his name to Michael Wilson. Find it funny now that AC7 is just fighting over Singapore and Strangeville. I mean, basically, Silipur is Singapore. Fair enough.
Hey, it's an endearing callback.
It's an endearing callback that won't be at all used for a devastating player gut punch later on.
Nope.
Everything's gonna be fine. Don't worry about the background music that sounds suspiciously similar to Super Circus.
We'll get there.
What does that mean? And more importantly, what does that matter? Of course, Osea, the America of Strangeville's Earth, would call them liberty and justice.
Like I said,
Gargoyle
if
1
there's
is...
any video that I would redo, it's this one.
The old-timer localization fuck up. What's that one?
I don't remember the details.
Because it sounds good in game. They're talking about the conservatives.
It doesn't sound good. It makes no sense. It makes literally no sense. Like, who's an old-timer? What does being an old-timer have anything to do with drones? What does any of that matter? Calamitous will explain.
I always understood as the younger, more pro-drone officers were poking fun at their more conservative higher-ups, aka being the old-timers, about using drones improperly. He's an elderly officer of the old regime. He has no clue. It's a reference to Labarth would be an old-timer to these guys. How is that a fuck-up? It's a clue to the radical conservative vision. Yeah, I got
what was the
that.
line before it? Wait, hold on. What was the line before it?
I don't.
What does that... What does that...
He's an old-timer. I mean...
Oh, God. Labarth Burton.
Labarth. Jeez. Are we going to call him Geordie LaForge now? But no. I personally don't see that as a localization fuck-up.
That's not, actually.
In English, they are using the term old-timer correctly. Preceding line's orders are to fire warning. Yeah, fire warning shots. That's how the old regime would have done it. The younger radicals are like, no, shoot to kill. So they're
that's so messy. How is anyone supposed to get that? Labarth ordered that? That's so messy. No, the Japanese line does not improve that. That's messy writing. Oh, that
I never
totally
got
missed that.
it's a reference to Labarth himself. I got it as a reference to the conservative higher ups just vague, like how grunts in like blue collar workers will derogatively refer to their upper management through general terms.
No, I get that. I just misunderstood that as always referring to Harling, because like there was nothing that indicated there was any old timer giving any kind of order there. I didn't realize they were talking about the ones who gave the orders. Oh,
He's an old
that's
timer.
messy.
They have
That's
no
so
idea how
messy.
UAVs are used. I got that clearly as junior officers complaining about their superiors.
I thought he was saying like, oh yeah, Harling doesn't know what's gonna hit him. I had no idea. No, Keystone was about cut content, not mistranslations.
Anyway.
What does that mean? And more.
Strategic AI chose liberty over justice.
Of course, Osea, the America of Strange Reels Earth, would call them liberty and justice. Gargoyle 1 is back from the dead?
No. It's just his.
I know. It's a joke. Too many people took that one serious.
This whole thing with Gargoyle makes no sense. What ship?
So, yeah.
The Arsenal bird?
Huh.
See, I put a card at the top.
The ship was not. Oh.
Are they trying to destroy the elevator? Or are they trying to damage it so the Arsenal bird can't receive signals from it? Or are they trying to fire on it to confuse the drones into blocking the missiles? Nothing.
Well, in a first playthrough, I don't think you were supposed to.
I've played this game like 5-10 times. I still didn't understand it.
Like, on the first playthrough, I didn't get the whole radical conservative division, but on subsequent playthroughs, I got it. Also, when they were talking about that ship's not one of ours, the second time I played it, I got what they were talking about.
But it's all so vague.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be.
No, it's too vague. What I mean is, no, listen, replaying a game to get context on lines that didn't make sense at the time, like, I do that all the time. I love that shit. But with 7, too much is too vague. Can I ban Calamitous? Can I? Oh, yes.
I mean, you're a mod.
I didn't mean to do it for 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
No, I'm sorry, that's 10 minutes. That's 10 minutes. That's my math bad. And I also didn't mean to delete all his messages.
That's what happens when you time someone out.
You can tell how often I mod on Twitch.
Alright, hold on. Let's see if I can fix that.
You can't restore the messages.
No, but I can. You
already
did.
Did.
Okay. He's like, bruh. You can individually delete a message.
I didn't mean to delete messages because he said shot by a sniper, so I meant to do a funny and time him out for a few seconds.
I live, bitch.
I'm sorry.
He popped flares and ejected.
Here is explained about Gargoyle's plan, and why was it kept secret from everyone else?
Gargoyle 3 to Babel. Babel, roger.
And who the hell is Babel?
Again.
It's obviously referencing the Tower of Babel, but in that case it means the space elevator. But then...
My headcanon is that Shamrock Shamrock can literally will weapons into existence that his plane cannot actually equip. I've proved that on stream. So why can't Shamrock just, will angel wings and have him fly back to Ameria?
I told you, I think that it was a mistranslation, that the original Japanese intended for him to actually see angel wings on his wing. But yeah, no, he just willed a wheelchair into existence and fucking
Not a
Stephen
wheelchair,
Hawking,
a jetpack.
A wheelchair with a jetpack, and fucking Stephen Hawking sped his way
He
to
got
Grace
a
Mario.
he got a Professor X wheelchair.
Yes, yes.
Who would be returning the call as Babel if Erusia has total control over
Yeah,
the
this-
space
this
elevator?
still bothers
This makes
me.
no sense.
This is one of the ones
What the hell
that
was that?
The gargoyle
Yeah, I don't got nothing for the Babel one. It didn't make any sense to me either.
the point is that either Babel is a what's more likely is that it's a waypoint.
It's a code word. Like
Well,
Clement said, it's
Either
supposed to be a
so
code.
either it's a code word for their attack maneuver, or it's a waypoint. And like because my understanding was that now that I understand what the fuck they were doing, when they say Gargoyle 3 to Babel, it sounds like they're flying towards the waypoint on the map.
Lighthouse. But they
Because
already
Babel would
called
be
it
the
the
one next-
lighthouse.
Well, no,
over the
that
radio.
was one of the Gargoyles fuck ups. Like they didn't mean to say the lighthouse.
Here's
so they
another
tried to
one
cover it up.
that I'm surprised you didn't send. They sent a squadron of interceptors, armed solely with air-to-air weapons,
It's
to
Ace
attack.
Combat.
Even still, you don't use Sidewinders to shoot a building. You
We're
use
only equipped with
bombs.
Sidewinders.
Then they should have put bombs on the Tomcats. I just see it as, the IUN fucking up again, because Gargoyle, I think,
Well,
is
no,
an
no,
IUN
no.
squadron.
The missile thing plays into what happens next. So.
You could say it's Ace Combat to a good chunk of these.
Well, yeah. It's an anime. It's Ace Combat. Like it's a game. Like yeah, I know.
I'd be a little bit more forgiving of it if they were Hornets, armed with like anti-ship missiles or something.
Anti-ship missiles don't belong against the building either.
They're more likely to lock onto it than a fucking Sidewinder. Because
we always use Sidewinders. I use Sidewinders for all of my childhood against every target.
I know. But that's a gameplay thing. At least in the cutscene, they should have had him equipped with an anti-ground.
Listen, this video's an hour and a half long, and we're not even 20 minutes through.
Why weren't we informed?
How could I have done
The IUN can't coordinate between branches as usual.
I agree that the IUN HQ is incompetent, but this isn't different branches. You're all in the Air Force. And Gargoyle is a sister squadron, and Skykeeper was aware of the plan, whatever it was. So everyone should have been in the know from the...
It's not a Sidewinder. Standard missiles. Them bitches lock onto everything.
Exactly.
Well, it goes one hit. Cabin's fine, but the cockpit's not looking so good.
Colonel Johnson, are you okay?
If the cockpit was hit so badly that Johnson's about to die, how is the radio still working?
He's using his cell phone.
Turn 180 degrees and exit combat air.
I see you, Ghost Missile. We find out later that any aircraft flown by an AI in this game has a colored line indicating its current status. Except this one, which we're told later is supposed to be a drone. So why isn't there a colored line on this one?
It was Ocean. A friendly missile hit him.
Verifying the situation.
Yeah, I
Stop
think
speculating.
Calamitous is right. I think that Hornet was
Oh
supposed to
god,
be George.
the Rosgris thing.
And then they altered
Ace
it
Combat
later
is
on.
supposed to be an arcade flight action game. You're not allowed to give me feels.
Ah, yes, the Tears of Rosgris.
Which one?
And before anyone says it, I know the actual track is called Friendly Fire. Fuck golly hell, it's the Tears of Rosgris.
That I love that I named it that. I love that Zap used that name because it fits so well. Because I just love that Aces of Rosgris, Ghosts of Rosgris, Demons of Rosgris. I really like that. So they didn't change the lines from Labarth in Last Hope. it's supposed to be two different thoughts. Like, they used this technology to create drones, and they also used it to create IFF that could fake OC and IFF. And the implication is that George used the latter. Or that plane was the latter, that it's a manned aircraft, not a drone. Again, hindsight, now that I know more about what the fuck the story was trying to do here, I would redo that sim completely, but...
Trigger was the closest.
Trigger with the
It's
closest.
2019. Beyond
the
visual
closest.
range combat is a thing. You're telling me it's impossible for anyone besides Trigger to be responsible.
All aircraft
Because
respond
Osea doesn't have gun
It
cameras.
takes this long for an
For now.
Arsenal bird to get to
Apparently
the
not.
space elevator? Aren't they supposed to defend the damn thing? So this is how Aruja got controlled so easily.
Trigger, you are suspected of assassinating the former president. There will be an inquiry. There will most probably be a court-martial.
Sure, that does make sense in this kind of situation. Of course, the F-16 has a camera equipped on the nose just for situations like this, so any investigation of Trigger's aircraft would prove that we're gonna be found guilty, aren't we?
A crook, a gambler, an
Gun
anarchist,
cameras?
just
What
your
are
typical
those, Sly?
lowlifes. They threw each one of them in a cockpit and sent them up to intercept the enemy's planes.
Ah yes, let's give the convicted felons high-tech military weapons and an escape route.
My dad died flying for the Ocean Air Force,
We know!
being the one who had to cover the rear guard's retreat.
But then who covers the ones who covered the rearguard's retreat? And who covers them?
He called
Yeah, I
it
know,
off.
Zakil. You
Said
get him later.
It was too late for him.
Oh, so he was an insubordinate asshole.
Talk in the cell block says he was sent here because he killed Harling, the president of Osea during the last war, remember?
I don't think you'd let us forget even if we tried.
He's the one that sent my dad
She's
on
a little
that suicide
obsessive on
mission.
that, isn't she?
That's bullshit. Harling was captured. He didn't do shit the entire war except in the final battle. Also, your dad volunteered. You said so yourself.
The next time a retreat happened, my dad volunteered to be in the rear guard. He's the reason I had to go live with my grandpa, and why me and Gramps started building a supersonic jet. He's the reason I ended up here.
Okay, now you're really stretching it. Harling didn't
see,
make
it's
you
Japan
build that
America.
jet.
Kinda, yeah.
Thought Zapland was supposed to be an isolated area.
Wasn't the point to draw the enemy's fire?
So,
Mission
notice
successful.
again, the FCS is locked.
Is it
Oh,
even
you're
possible
using
to
the
remotely
pencil.
disable a plane's FCS?
Enjoy.
that's what it's-
Also,
yeah.
who put Chad Kroger in this game?
Look at this photograph.
Excited to have another murderer with you?
Well, at least he's honest.
Any aircraft leaving the operation area will be shot down.
Too bad we never get to see that threat actually play out, especially if we do try to escape. Whoever had that high-pitched scream is not getting paid enough here.
Trigger, keep an eye on your head count. We can compare later. Yeah, I'm betting that report will get dressed up real pretty.
Why isn't the AWACS confirming the kills? It's not like this is a real furball, and in fact Bandog confirms drone kills in the next mission. How does Count ever get away with lying? Mid-mission
He
exposition.
bribes
Trigger,
people. I
don't
don't
get shut down now. I got good money riding on your survival.
Bartlett, what are you doing here?
Did I say you could take down the enemy?
You would have died.
Throw anyone who disobeys into solitary.
Excuse me?
They were such enthralling creatures.
That's not
Oh, Roz,
creepy.
your headset.
He didn't get the
What?
Something just went. It's good now. Something went wonky with your headset for a second.
Oh,
I was hearing some interference.
sorry.
You're
Banda
good now.
doesn't
No, you're
care
right, you're-
enough. They weren't supposed to have Master Armin on anyway. I could get the Bandog not caring enough.
Well, that wasn't Bad Dog in the debriefing, Zakil. That was McKinsey.
No, about the AWACS not confirming the kills.
Oh, fair enough.
those scars from flying, though.
Project Aces shoots down any Scarface theories before they can even start.
His real name is Mihai Dumitru Margarita Corneliu Leopold Blanca Carol Aeon Ignatius Raphael Maria Nikitas A. Shalaji.
I'm not...
If Floof is still in this chat, please type out the full thing for Vash the Stampede's name, because that's immediately what I went to.
Sinning his name, this is common in areas with such family name traditions. Hello, Spain. I mean, Sapin. But why the hell do they leave his second to last name at A? If it stands for Archange like we see later in gameplay, why don't they just say that? The good doggo.
She was indeed the daughter of Erusia's new ruler.
Ah, yes, the current king of Erusia, who we don't get to see, just like the current president of Osea.
They're expendable. We don't care about them.
The pilots of the support plane smiled.
The character models certainly looked the best, but these singing animations really needed more work.
I wonder how Mihai felt about all of this.
He just looks dead inside.
He is
For
dead
this mission,
inside!
We prepared a frontline base that can be used for ammo replenishment and aircraft repairs.
Hey, the return line...
This is not for you guys.
Aww.
Fuck, my immediate response is, fuck you!
Wait, so Mackenzie didn't thank Bandog for saving his life? Damn, no wonder he doesn't care about him anymore. Is Bandog a reverse tsundere? There is soon?
Battle doctrines. Something happens, they tell you what to do next. Osea has one. Let me look into this doctrine thing.
Man, you're delusional.
Random spare pilot is the one who's delusional. Osea having battle doctrines explains everything about how they could invade Belka and Yuktobania so fast. Of course they'd have a battle doctrine drawn up for every country in the world in the event of possible war.
US does it too.
When the banker's out.
Random spare pilot is still wrong. Whoever gets the banker's possessions would control the bet. So in this case, Mackenzie?
Do you honestly think Mackenzie would be the banker?
Game doesn't actually keep better score of the kills you and Count make.
The bastards who flew off are
Oh,
going to
yeah,
wish they were
okay.
never born. You guys get a pass.
Bandog lying through his teeth.
You know, I've received a medal for my ingenuity in finding a use for you cons.
They're handing out medals like candy these days.
Your so-called right to complain was forfeited the moment you chose to break the law.
That's not correct. Again, assuming Osea has a First Amendment.
An Osean Air Force squadron is currently entering Erusian territory for reconnaissance.
If Mackenzie didn't want the 444th to know the recon planes were checking Stonehenge, maybe they shouldn't have drawn the line going straight there.
Due to certain factors, their return route has been changed.
Except Bandog redirects them to the 444th base instead of... What is
I hope
that?
Mackenzie die on the front lines.
Outrange
That's
force
my
base?
headcanon.
What the hell?
Air Force Base 444 Squad. This is Cyclops 1.
Token black guy. Also, how can they pick up Wiseman's radio from this far
Every
away?
game's gotta have
Especially
one.
with cloud interference.
They're investigating the ruins. That's all I know. You sure found out quick.
Tabloid doesn't pay attention to the briefing screen.
Wish we'd used that hole to get home, too.
Okay, I don't know if you mentioned this, but I do like in this cutscene that they actually show that these Eagles don't have missiles. Because the briefing said that they're unarmed. And the cutscene shows that they don't have weapons.
Although it's
So-
interesting to note that they didn't drop their drop tanks until now.
Well, they probably
Like,
didn't have
after
to do
traveling all the way to I know, but after traveling all the way to Stonehenge and then halfway back while being chased by drones the entire way back.
Maybe they couldn't because they needed the extra fuel. And at this point, they ran out of fuel. And so they're like, well, drop it. We're going to have to evade. That's my theory.
Things don't always go perfectly.
We find out later that the hole they're referring to is a hole in Erusia's auto-intercept radar net tied to the drones. But why couldn't they use it on the return trip? Also, why in the world would Osea authorize Cyclops and Strider to fly into a thunderstorm? I get why Mackenzie ordered Spare to do it.
Yep.
And I think Calamitous is about to say the same thing, because they were caught. That's why they couldn't use the same hole to return. Oh, no, Calamitous. We don't know that, actually. We have no idea what Strider 1, like, what exactly he died to, just that he was overzealous with something. No, what I was going to say is, like, now I would remove that sin, because now that I think about it, yeah, if they were being chased all the way back, they wouldn't want to reveal the opening that they came through.
Yeah. And again, with the drop tanks, Eagles
Yeah,
are fucking fast. And they can overcome the drag of the drop tanks. As long as they're going in a straight line, they could probably outrun the drones. but once they hit here, they're in a storm that's going to kill their speed, so they're going to have to actually evade. You drop the drop tanks then.
And like you said, they were probably out of fuel at this point,
Yeah.
so they probably needed
So they're
them
just
for
dead
that.
weight now.
Yeah.
Do it. He's an ass. But anyone knows that it's a suicide mission, and if they have important recon on Stonehenge, Osea would want to keep them safe.
Cowards, go hide in the thunderclouds like Trier.
Given that the thunderclouds are the most dangerous area, that's hardly the coward option.
Cyclops 1 is breaking off. He could have broken off any time if he was by himself.
He was being chased by a UAV. Who's the dumbass now?
Nice teamwork. Thanks.
What teamwork? You just stood there and took the hits.
I don't think they kind of played out Calamitous, because Wiseman seemed really...
Wit would be great.
Wiseman seemed...
what's the word? Well, like, he was very... He's that line is voiced very dismissively of Strider 1. So...
Also, why would he try holding off the drone swarms with no ammo?
Oh no, the assumption is that... Actually, wait, if they were sortied without ammo, that's...
Typically, recon plane...
No, Wiseman says that they're low on ammunition, not that they're empty. So they probably did fight some of the drones.
Okay. Then why would they have the drop tanks on?
Because it was a long range strategic strike.
Usually, when you have to go and dogfight something that's more agile than you drop the drop tanks because they had drag.
Maybe they weren't
That's
expecting such a
CinemaSins.
large response. I don't know.
Spare 10 lost. Another one. One recon aircraft lost.
Again, why is Mihai choosing to play with some pilots and just vaporize others instantly?
Because he's a sadistic bastard!
Force craft flying out of bounds.
What determines out of bounds? I know we have the red outline, but the actual characters don't. Do they?
Search for Sol 3. They've got 2 rear guard. A bit of a spine.
More impressive than Trigger holding back Mihai is the fact that Tabloid is holding back both Wit and Seymour. That detail just gets glossed over, I guess.
Tabloid is the MVP, because not only is he holding off 2 enemy aces, he's doing it in one of the most dinky aircraft this game actually has.
Mirage.
Fucking Mirage! And he's holding off flankers.
Most players would not be able to do it. Like even
In
with
a fucking thunderstorm.
With the OP nature of the game giving you like all the resources you need to beat it, like in a Mirage, like no, most players wouldn't. Tabloid's an MVP.
Give the guy a fucking medal. No, wait, no. Don't give a medal, because then it would go to McKinsey.
Mihai is a masochist.
No, he's a sadist. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
Schroeder is a complete dick to have the AI yell.
No, the Mirage is pretty maneuverable. The thing I'm saying is it does not have the endurance to go after flankers. He's probably already almost out of ammo, even with the hyperspace arsenal that Strandriel has.
And not to mention 2 flankers piloted by 2 people trained by one of the top aces in the world.
But the only thing that the Mirage has is maneuverability at high speed. That's what Delta Wings give you. It's too light
in a
to really...
dogfight, that's not helpful.
Yeah, in a dogfight, that's not helpful. Especially with turbulence. I bring this up in my 8 aircraft showcase. I am not a fan of the Mirage because it lacks endurance. It's not a very good aircraft. The Rafale is a much better aircraft.
Yell at Mihai during the entire dogfight.
Spare 15 hit by lightning.
Missile hit. Is he down? No, we managed to take it in a non-critical area. I'll teach you how to do that when we get back.
Mihai does not teach them how to do that, and they end up being pretty simple to shoot down later on.
There's 2 Sidewinders. That's all it takes.
Even lightning barely bothered him. That guy's the real thing.
So I have to
apparently
ask.
lightning strikes barely affect you in this game, outside of your HUD and a small drop in altitude, so that's really not unusual.
How hard was this fight
Why
in
is
the
that
pencil?
an issue now? The clouds have been here the entire time, and lightning is barely a threat.
Trigger, kindness gets you killed.
Counts one to talk since he didn't even try to enter that dogfight.
Yeah. So yeah, how hard was this fight in the pencil?
Oh, mine was muted. What's funny is that you could tell because I was trying to also get a bunch of the lines, like
Yeah.
to actually play like the lightning one and getting hit by a missile. Not as hard as you might think, because he spends a lot more time maneuvering than shooting at you, and equipped with the right parts.
Yeah. Calamitous the easy answer of why Mihai doesn't have Corpro in
Opera.
whatever. M15 is his giant ego says he doesn't need it.
Also, that wasn't a training mission.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a story Gramps told me once.
Oh
He
my
said a
God, the
little while
Mirage
before
is
he
taller
retired
than
from
the
active
pencil.
duty, he saw an enemy fighter wipe out an entire formation right in front of him.
I don't think it is. I
And
think it's just
Avril's
a camera
grandfather survived Mihai how exactly?
Hang on. There's 3 extra planes here.
I thought there were 7?
I bought him a drink later.
How? You're in prison.
For an anarchist, he's
It's called trading your cigarettes for moonshine.
Where do you get it?
I don't know.
Ross, have
prison
you been in
economy.
prison? Yeah, I'm sorry. Have you been in prison? Is this an experience that you've had? Would you like to share with the class?
No, but I did take some criminology classes in college because I originally
And
wanted
in
to.
criminology classes in college, they teach you how to trade your cigarettes for booze.
Not officially.
struck me as a bit weird. Nothing like what I
Everyone else
expected.
died. That's
You
why.
were the one who called him.
An anarchist with no balls. Talked a mile a minute and kept going on and on about library books. Not encyclopedias.
We spend a good minute on adventure novels for no reason.
I knew that burnt smell. That's what happens when an engine's been driven to its limit.
Or it was hit by lightning. How can an engine smell differently depending on the pilot?
¿Por qué no los dos? Trigger pushed it past its limit and got hit by lightning.
You went up to that F-15's ass and just sniffed it real hard.
I love the smell of burnt engine in the morning.
Smells like Ace Pilot.
I could take it further, but that's probably not a good idea.
Those of you whose food privileges were taken away.
Isn't that torture?
Champ went down crying like a baby.
We were all there. Literally everyone can call bullshit on you.
I've got more bad news.
Oh, I would have
That
switched to
implies
the
that
Eagle
Bandog gave
at
us
this
some
point.
bad news to start with.
Hey, Trigger.
No.
Why do you think this stupid war
I
keeps
refuse
dragging
that
on?
they don't give him anything.
What?
I know the cutscene shows an eagle, but
Well, I switched to Eagle because you also, after Mission 7, you get the Queen's Custom. And she's
No,
fixing
what-
an Eagle.
well, she's fixing an eagle, but that implies that we were using an eagle in the last mission.
Yeah, whatever.
Where the hell did we get an eagle?
I don't know. It happens somewhere.
That's my point. So I stick with the F-104. Besides, it's vague enough like for most people to not recognize that it was an eagle.
Engine is matte. Yeah, it does look kind of like a Hornet. A little bit.
Yeah, so I just
Engine's-
leave it to the F-104 for all these missions.
I actually prefer the F-16 for cannon, but
That would make
It's all
sense.
because countries exist. Shouting that and throwing a rock is what got me in here.
Avril's right. Discount Pixie definitely has no balls.
I'm sorry. He's got massive brass balls for going into a thunderstorm to take on 2 flankers in one of the dinkiest planes in the entire game.
Well, yeah, but he threw a rock. That's how he ended up in prison.
So he earned his balls in prison.
He earned his balls in prison, but did not have balls beforehand.
Make sure their routes are split.
This line implies that they're just bringing the trucks out now, but when the mission update starts, half of the trucks are almost off the map already.
HQ saw them on satellite.
Why? Most AWACS and Ace Combat somehow can see what each plane is looking at, so why would HQ need satellite observation over this area
brass,
right now?
Colonel Willie
Especially
Bishop.
since there's a sandstorm over the area that would block satellite coverage.
I think we flipped the switch in parameters.
Yeah, but what happens when some of that sand gets caught in the intakes?
They pave desert highways nicely, you know?
I think he's getting some
Drive
flashbacks.
fast to avoid bandits in the desert.
This area isn't inhabited by civilians, and even if it was, how would Tabloid know about bandits here?
A cat doesn't have enough lives to carry out your orders.
That is absolutely my favorite line in the whole damn game. Knock off a second.
Damn show for dragging us into this shit. Shut the hell up. This has nothing to do with me.
You guys are celebrating.
How in the world does that sound like celebration?
Trigger, I need support, now.
Enough of this trigger bullshit.
Bandog would be great at CinemaSins.
Learn to dogfight on your own. I can't do everything. Oh wait, this is an Ace Combat game. Of course I have to do everything.
Don't tell me you're taking out drones for your squadron now, are you? They're not your friends. They're convicts just like you. Just worry about saving your own skin. You listening, Trigger? Target the tankers. The other idiots have their hands full with the drones.
This is a really clever way of telling the player to stop attacking the drones and go after the trucks. But what if Trigger's actually trying to clear the drones so he can stop getting shot at?
Yeah. What? Did you say something?
I'm asking Calamitous to remind me where that's from.
Oh. Hey. Guys are idiots, but you have good heads. I don't know where that is.
My best guess is that it's a cut line from this mission.
You sound like you know something. I don't just give intel away for free.
Full Band implies here that he knows about Helios, but in the next mission he keeps quiet about it when they show up.
The only reason you're here
No,
is to
that's not
atone
up
for
there.
your crimes by carrying out missions.
Well, you sit on your ass and get medals.
You, solitary, now.
I mean, he had a point. I'm surprised McKinsey is getting any kind of recognition for the pilot's deeds when the main Osean force barely knows about the Penal Squadron.
In this mission, you're going into Erusian territory.
As if we haven't been doing that for the last 3 missions.
Got in using a trick any amateur could think of. Picked up a bunch of intel.
Yeah, we know. All of these drone fighters have bright red lines on their cockpits, but apparently no one in Spare Squadron can see that.
Modern IFF connects to our strategic system via satellites. It can't be decoded.
Except Avril said that was the whole reason the penal base existed, to trick Erusia's
funny.
satellites.
But it's still no. A cat doesn't have enough lives to carry out your orders. Funny.
Is that your favorite line in the game or favorite line in the series?
Game.
Okay. Because yeah, that's a good one, but
I'd have to really run through the series to think about my favorite lines.
I think one of my favorite.
Just weave through the missiles.
That's a good one. One of my favorite ones from 6 is, all right, turn, everyone run all along now. Too busy dancing. All right, Sky Kid, I'll just write you down as missing in action. I love that line. I don't know why. It's funny.
Don't give me that, Sky Kid. It's past your bedtime.
Which were Osean satellites that they hacked.
You'd make a scary mother ghost die.
So how is it surprising that Erusia could spoof Osia's IFF, which is based on Osean satellites that Erusia's already...
The past your bedtime line. I don't remember who he actually said that to.
Be joyful. Our generals who brought us out of despair have given us a place to die. I wouldn't call that funny. That's kind of fucking depressing.
Well, he said that was his favorite.
Fair enough. I mean, it does accurately portray just how messed up in the head the diehard Estevakians were at that point. Okay, so it's roger that. I'll just report you as gunned down, missing in action. It's pretty harsh, Ghost Eye.
already hacked.
Hey, the enemy's working in coordination.
Another hint that no one in Spare picks up on to realize they're fighting drones.
What about markings and crab type? There's no time.
In Ace Combat, there's always time, which is exactly why no one picking up on the red lights makes no sense. How nice of the UAVs to hold their fire while Spare Squadron does their heroic stick with trigger moment.
Projectile income.
I mean, it's a cutscene. That's just anime law.
I know, but it's not just anime. It's like you go to any action movie and it's like the whole war is going on, but don't worry about this little hole where two characters are staring at each other and having a short discussion.
Talking is a free action, Sly.
Of course it is.
How did that random Spare pilot see any blips from Helios when they're still way too far off and we can't see them ourselves?
Arsenal birds.
Random Spare pilot, for some reason, is unaware that Erusia has control of the Arsenal birds.
I know.
Damn, you're working quick today, Bandog. Get too chatty and you'll die.
Oh, now Bandog cares?
How can they fire like that when they've got allies in the airspace? Don't they care about the pilots?
Yet another hint about them being drones, but nope, still nothing.
There's multiple Hornets in the formation. And Full Band isn't a Hornet.
No, but we know which ones specifically by the markings.
Count. 1 to go. Go get him.
If Osia's IFF is integrated with the entire system, how did Bandog show Full Band as an enemy on Count's radar but not anyone else's?
You did that on purpose, Bandog.
AWACS magic.
If Bandog was trying to hide Full Band's death as an IFF accident, he really shouldn't have gone with that tone.
Hold on, Count. It looks like your kill numbers are going up every day. You know what happens by giving false reports.
Did Count actually say shooting down Full Band was a legitimate kill on his record?
Anyway, you other pilots should learn from him.
What, to give false reports? McKinsey's contradicting himself here.
We've been ordered to pack everything up and move the base further inland.
I mean, are we going to say that McKinsey has never falsified a report?
I know, but he said, you know what happens, Count, by giving false reports. Anyway, everyone else should give false reports. Huh?
Because that's how you move up in rank. Apparently.
Whatever. It's still contradictory.
How is Tyler...
Oh yeah,
further
but it
inland?
makes sense because it's McKinsey. He's an idiot.
We even got a transport plane.
Looks like a lot more than just one.
A corrupt
They
idiot.
tell us the airfield's being used as a base to support the elevator. Not sure if I trust that intel.
How would you not trust that intel? In fact, you seem to know so much about Harling and the space elevator's construction. How would you not be aware of Tyler Island's importance?
Anyway, the transport plane's gonna drop us there. Without any fighters to cover us.
It's well known that Erusia controls the space elevator. How are they expecting to get through without getting shot down by anti-air or other fighters? What are they doing with all of the fighter aircraft still here at the base?
I think originally the plan was to have the protagonist escort them in, but because of shenanigans, McKinsey picked the protagonist to be the escort.
Oh, McKinsey did not pick the protagonist to escort him. That was the doing of the central office. Because they summoned him.
Because of Avril's doing. Let's put it that way. But yeah, without the protagonist to guard anything, it's kind of fucked.
More fingernail playing.
And prisoners don't get guns.
So how are they expecting to do battle against Erusia on the ground?
Planning escapes ain't all I'm good at. I'm plenty good at remembering phone numbers, too.
By that logic, Avril cannot remember a single phone number to save her life. Seriously, how is she good at planning escapes? She was caught every time.
Wait, hold on.
Mackenzie's first name is...
Huh?
Calamitous, the General Staff Office didn't summon Trigger because Avril told them to.
I think he meant that the GSO pulled 2 escorts because Avril told them to.
No, Avril didn't tell them to do that. She just wanted a spot on the transport.
Oh. So then who picked the escorts?
No one. The whole point is that there was no original escort for them. Because Avril says that they're going to send us there in a transfer plane without any fighters to cover us, and prisoners don't get guns. So
Mackenzie's plane getting the escorts.
But that has nothing to do with Avril.
But Avril made the phone call that caused the Mackenzie to need an escort in the first place, because otherwise
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Mackenzie was sent to North Point with all the other staff, with all the other higher officers. And he was always going to have an escort. Because Avril says before she even finds the phone, without any fighters to cover us. So there's no change in the plan just because she calls the General Staff Office.
Yeah.
She doesn't have anything to do with Trigger at all in this cutscene. The whole point was that she wanted to talk her way onto the plane.
all I know is I completely agree with the sin that's on screen. Mackenzie's first name is Dick.
100%. No one can tell me otherwise.
Dick, and no one can tell me otherwise.
A little while later, I headed over to HQ.
How did no one spot a prisoner just waltzing over to the base commander's office? In fact, how did no one spot her hooking up a phone and making a call?
That pipe, what exactly are you doing with it?
What pipe?
I haven't seen that right up.
Why does Mackenzie look like General LaPointe from the back, but like a
Same
bald
model?
asshole from the front? He even
Or
has more
reused
hair in this
assets?
cutscene than in the mission
reused
portrait.
assets, I know.
And
but
look, he's
I
even
still have to
wearing
sit
glasses in the cutscene. How are there so many inmates at a penal base that they have so many large binders of their names?
Because they
The
keep
battle
getting
is
more.
underway, and the airport to the south
You
has
know,
been
when
reclaimed.
people die.
We find out later that this is all bullshit and misinformation, but how? At this point in the game, OCS satellites are still in operation, so why is this a totally different briefing than what's actually going to greet them?
We will be stopping to refuel in Bulgurdarest. It's in Erusian territory, with close ties to Osea.
If all command personnel are being temporarily sent to North Point, you can't tell me that Osea doesn't have refueling tankers to spare. Why would they risk any of them in Erusian territory just to refuel?
Because all the other officials are regulars. McDixie is the penal commander. He's expendable.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Hey, Trigger, wait right there.
Mackenzie singles Trigger and not Count, even though
Also,
Count
he's a
will also be
giant
joining
dick.
us.
Why would they waste
Why
any
does
time on
Mackenzie
him?
restart the briefing software instead of just holding it where it was to show Trigger the enemy placements?
You breathe in a way I don't like, and I'll shoot you out of the damn sky.
How are you going to do that in a transport?
He's gonna use a servicer pistol to stick out the window and drive by.
The base ATC had better character development than the entire first
By the
quarter of
way,
the game.
Yes.
I need to wait for the ad break to end. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're back from the ad break. By the way, during that briefing, Mackenzie says if the General Staff Office hadn't requested you, your ass would have been sent to Tyler Island. Speaking to Trigger. Trigger would not have been an escort. He would have been on the transport plane with all the other prisoners. So they still would not have had an escort. Anyway, continue.
So the liaison plane left without me.
Avril, for some reason, did not care enough to make sure she was on the transport. That was a complete waste of both a phone opportunity and an entire cutscene.
If the con's here and the dumbass prison guards are going, why shouldn't I?
Probably because you're going straight to hell.
My headcanon is she got in the wrong plane. It's like, okay, I'm here to go to where's McDixie? Ah, shit.
I'll check that after stream.
The General Staff Office seems to have the impression you didn't kill Harley, Trigger. Report at destination. Reopen your case.
What, did they finally realize that planes have cameras? I'm really curious what took the GSO 2 months to reopen the case, especially when Trigger would have been rightfully found innocent the first time.
Politics.
Flying as an escort makes me feel like I'm all tied down.
Count finally says what everyone thinks about escort missions.
The next missile will down your craft, so watch your tail.
This line plays whether or not it's true.
I was wondering about that.
Osea is our brother nation. We should help them.
The subtitles labeled these speakers as Osean Ground Unit, which is obviously false. Volgurdarest isn't Osean. They're friendly to Osean forces, but officially they're neutral.
They're just using Osean equipment. They bought it.
That's not how flares work. You can't just release them all
I know.
at once. There's that good old Zoe emblem. Long time no see. You know, since Infinity.
Take down the bandits.
Bandits? There's only one.
Freudian slip. He was including Mackenzie as part of the. We know he's got that on his mind because
I know.
if you shoot him, you get points.
Ordinarily.
Holy shit, they got Jameson Price back for the briefings. My question from my video on Ace Combat 5 still stands. Is he playing an actual person who Anderson called to the original Kestrel? Or is it a text-to-speech program?
We wanted to collect data on its
It's
capabilities.
Alexa.
But that's gone out the window now, hasn't it?
Well, you could do something the IUN didn't do. Actually use Trigger's plane camera to investigate the drone.
Your commander has been transferred to a different post. He's probably headed to the front lines, where things are hottest. Well, he did stress his achievements.
Damn, we actually got payback on McKinsey. This game deserves sins off just for that.
We've discovered that the intercept system has a blind...
Can I just say that going from
No.
the Mage Squadron kind of dull briefing music to the kind of whatever the hell like the depressing
Grungy.
444 briefing music
Grungy, I
was.
would call that.
What?
Grungy.
Grungy, okay. To this triumphant Strider.
I love the LRSSG briefings.
It's great.
We've acquired this valuable information by sending our other squadrons on dangerous missions to scout the whole area and initiate combat. Of all the pilots assigned to us, only 2 managed to survive the mission.
This is a really clever way to tie all of the last few missions together by revealing what the hell we were actually doing, except for the fact that no one knew prisoners were being used. He doesn't even point out that Trigger and Count are the 2 that managed to survive.
At present, the enemy fleet is concentrated there.
I think the fact that that it was prisoners that did it is something that Osea doesn't really want people to know about. So
Yeah.
it might be classified top secret.
Eruj had learned nothing from the Aegir fleet debacle and have chosen to deploy their most powerful fleet way too far to the east, again. Oh geez, Trigger has gone totally crazy to accept the 3 strikes like this.
Trigger,
Nah.
call sign is Strider 1. You will be leading Strider Squad.
I mean,
I know
egotistical,
that
yeah.
Wiseman has faith in Trigger, but to
believe
have
that's
him
in
lead
there.
an entire squadron full of pilots that have been flying with Wiseman for months? Really?
Sorry, but I'm gonna eat while I work. My judgment goes fuzzy when I'm too hungry.
Best AWACS ever.
Platform approach confirmed.
As much as I love Ghost Eye, Longcaster is the best.
The fact that they made him hold an apple while he did the voice work to get into the mode of a foodie. I love it.
And the only reason why they used an apple is because the hamburger would be too messy.
You just put the meat in between those buns and that burger is well done.
What are we serving a sandwich?
I'm happy to eat both.
Ace Combat 7 just opened a major can of worms by siding with the hamburgers are not sandwiches crowd. Although
are
I guess
totally
it's Count,
sandwiches.
so it doesn't really matter.
Move on to the valley as before.
As before? Did they try to take down this fleet already?
Trigger, what are the marks of your plane? 3 lines. Scratches.
I don't like it. It's like some lines. Nothing.
Count being a grade A asshole. And Hushin likes him later on? Okay, sure.
To be fair, after Mission 15, Count gets not hit with the character development stick. He falls from the top of the character development tree and hits every single branch on the way down. And then they all fall on top of him.
Yeah, you're right.
Count, this is another handful of strategic alive for a long time. So get used to it.
What a pain in the ass.
Why is Count being such a stick in the mud, especially when his teammates this time around are actually skilled?
That's exactly why.
Yeah, I know. I that's another sin that I would remove now.
Best of all, we've taken 0 losses. Stay alive, people. Which is why I've taken the liberty of ordering dinner for you guys from a nice Italian bistro near the base.
That's an impressive feat, given that Italy does not exist in Strange Real.
My Crux is not an
Crux is
AWACS.
not an
He's
AWACS.
ground. He's
Crux
ground
is not an
control.
AWACS.
But my headcanon for the Italian thing is Amerian. Because Amerian.
Okay, but they still said it.
No, I know.
Also,
I
that's
get
not
it. It's still a deserved sin. That was a fuck up on the localization team. But I'm just that's my headcanon.
Accepting incoming missiles with their Sea-Wiz. Counteract Sea-Wiz with a low approach or use missiles outside of the set range.
What they're fine when you're in advantage.
I appreciate that Longcaster says Sea-Wiz correctly after Heavy Cloud called it CIWS in Infinity, but I guess the Erusian voice actor didn't get the same memo.
Strider 1, this is Control Tower. The runway is clear?
Why is he saying that like a question? Excuse me, what?
He's asking the pilot for permission to let him take off.
The runway is clear?
Eugene serves the role of an AWACS. No, he does not. He serves the role as mission control. Mission control is ground-based. AWACS is
He
air.
serves the role of the AWACS in all the other games. But he's still not an AWACS.
No. Because an AWACS can theoretically be shot down.
We're going to use Stonehenge for a long-range attack against the Arsenal bird.
Holy shit.
The majority of the artillery is out of action after an air raid by the Independent State Allied forces. When that happened, the main base was being repaired from the damage caused by the asteroid, so it managed to escape the bombardment.
For some reason, they refer to one single railgun as the main base.
The Erusian forces have detected our movements and are marching on Stonehenge.
Wait, hold on. This map is showing Tyler Island as completely taken over by the Erusians, and even sending forces to attack Stonehenge, with no indication of Oseans in the vicinity. So much for the Tyler Island operation. And Erusians are also coming from Axel Bay, which we conveniently left out in the entire game.
The Arsenal bird is closing in, but if our operation goes as planned, we should be able to shoot it down before it reaches the operation area.
That doesn't happen.
Set up strong points we call menhirs around Stonehenge.
We already used that for Infinity Stonehenge targeting satellites. I guess Project Aces can't think of another clever name related to Stonehenge besides Menhir or Megalith.
I'm Warrant Officer Lehman, a specialist.
Lehman never says what he's a specialist of.
Shooting
things. Specialist is an actual thing. I just...
Yeah.
It's just funny to me to have that. Even if I redo it, I would keep that line. I would keep that sin.
He's a specialist at shooting giant railguns.
Yeah.
While eyeballing it.
With his eyes. Exactly.
Although I think it's actually Makoni that takes the shot. No, wait, no, she orders the shot.
Well, yeah, but like, I don't know that anyone actually like climbs onto the cannon and takes the shot like that. Like,
There's a seat inside there where if it's anything like a naval rifle, in the turret,
it's a huge ass rifle though.
that's what they call them. Like the main guns on a battleship, they're called rifles because of the rifling of the barrel.
But these weren't designed to be fired manually ever.
Then how are they able to be fired now?
I just imagined that they like manually like moved it like via computer, but like still eyeballing it, but not actually like grabbing it with their hands and moving it themselves.
Ironically, his bio on the official website that says Lehman is an expert at artillery, so he is actually specialist at shooting giant ray guns. Yes.
Didn't you check in on Stonehenge a few months ago?
I win.
There are only 3 Menhir units, but they're referred to as Menhir 5, 6, and 7. Wouldn't it be Menhir 1, 2, and 3? It's not like they used a call sign outside of Stonehenge.
This is Menhir 6. That's the last of the enemy reinforcements.
That implies that there were Menhirs 1 through
There aren't.
4, but they just
Where would they be?
died.
Why would they be? No, the operation didn't even start until we got there.
No, I know, but the fact that they do 5 through 7 implies the existence of 1.
Where would they have died?
I don't know. You should have made that a sin.
I still said it.
I gave my men a 15-minute vacation. Sorry, I need a short breather myself.
Are you even allowed to do that in an active war zone? There's no breaks in war.
I'll just be stitching on my lost limbs. Should be back before lunch.
And did Aruja confirm you can take a lunch break?
He's Ocean, but okay.
Actually, no, he did not have to take them out. It sounds like he only killed them right when he made those shots. That implies they were captured already, and given that they were also civilians, Mr. Glittner needs to be tried for war crimes.
Yep. Although, if they were wearing Ocean markings, that does technically make them legitimate targets.
They were students.
No, I mean, he was clearly in the wrong for doing it, but that might be his defense. If the Oceans put them in anything resembling a uniform.
Well, guess what? Guess who won the war?
Oh, I know. I'm not saying that defense is going to fly very well. I'm just saying that's the defense he could possibly take.
Now this is the money shot.
Swarm of UAVs is launching from the
No, that's not the money shot. We'll get to it later.
Why isn't the Arsenal bird using the Helios missiles to defend itself? Eruja's making the same mistake as Estavakia did with the Igaion.
The survey data isn't updating. No response from our spotter.
Survey vehicle down.
You can't tell me they didn't see the survey data not updating until now. And besides, if it wasn't updated, wouldn't the railgun still fire just to the wrong target location?
Up yet, Major. We still have sensors. All right. The oldest sensors in the book.
Okay, but...
What's... Okay, it's set. Well, let's go up to that. Because I'm getting some artifacting. And maybe that's just the recording itself. I don't know.
But how? No one's sitting at the back of a Stonehenge railgun and turning it to fire like a Gatling gun.
Especially when I slow it down.
That's something.
Yeah.
What was this sequence of lines supposed to mean?
Trigger, do not fire this.
Ace Combat 7 was rated T for teens.
I mean, Justice is the only one that has the TLS and pulse lasers too, so it might be that Liberty is just the drone carrier.
Yes, but still.
Stonehenge came with honest to goodness wage table? What was that curious?
This ain't what they were doing.
Why are there range tables? The Stonehenge railguns automatically tracked and fired on free-falling meteorites and jet aircraft using supercomputers. You can't tell me that the Erusians actually used range tables to manually calculate Mobius 1's position each and every time they fired on him.
Give me a second.
One, yes, Liberty is the prototype. Two, in regards to the range tables, it's something called redundancies.
I don't care. I don't care. You can't tell me that they actually thought, yes, we're going to manually use these against asteroids, and then Erusia manually use them against aircraft. Yeah, right. Yeah, fucking right. Redundancy, my ass. If the supercomputers go down, the damn thing is useless.
It's been a while since I've used something this arcane. Does the angle on this table account for wind and Coriolis?
First off, Lehman immediately says,
How much wind?
so wind is not even a factor, and even if it was, wouldn't the angle on the table have a formula for calculating the difference in firing angle depending on wind speed? Second, what the hell does Coriolis Force have to do with anything? The Arsenal bird is right on Stonehenge's doorstep. Coriolis Force is about much larger distances than...
Yeah, Calamitous is right, Sly. The fact that it had range tables implies it was going to be used as a weapon for artillery.
It is a weapon. No, but it is a weapon.
No, like a weapon of war, not a weapon of defense.
No, but you have to imagine that there would be some kind of spotter for the asteroids and their positioning.
Yeah.
than this. And again, if Coriolis Force did have something to do with the firing angle, wouldn't there be a formula on the range table to help calculate that? Lehman has got some sniper binoculars to make out the Osean flag on the Arsenal bird from that distance. Especially since the Arsenal bird doesn't have an Osean flag on it.
Okay, Sly, it's time to take your medicine.
I know.
He was referring to a flag
I
on the base.
I literally, genuinely have a headache right now.
Although,
I'm serious. I know.
Although, one thing you could make a sin about, if you wanted to redo this, is they're using the flag to dictate the wind direction, which for
there would still be a sin. How is that indication of the wind direction where the Arsenal bird is?
that, and this thing is firing a gigantic slug at very high velocities because it's designed to do what? Take down asteroids. So it has to be hypervelocity so it can intercept them, and it's got to be heavy enough to blow it the fuck up. So, with the amount of mass and velocity it's going at this short range, it's not going to give a fuck about the wind.
That may not be the case depending on the wind.
It had to be
The wind is
hurricane.
strong enough.
It had to be fucking hurricane force winds.
Maybe not. Add up enough wind in Coriolis Force, there is a possibility. If you're just an inch off, you miss the Arsenal bird.
Stonehenge fires at Mach 18. The wind
But
won't.
if you're 1 inch off,
The wind will not matter at that close range. It will matter later on when it slows down, but at that close range, it's gonna hit almost instantaneously.
they can't take that chance.
I mean, fair
They have
enough.
one single chance.
I had to aim at an enemy ship 30 kilometers away in the middle of a storm. Okay, Torres.
The seas will rough that thing.
Cyclops 4 has been hit. Are you all right?
That's fine. We can't lose any more allies.
Knock that off. Push yourself too hard and you're dead. Get back to base.
I've got a bone to pick with this line. In the original Japanese, this line was more like, everyone who said that and pushed themselves too hard died. The Chinese subtitles say, that's how former members died because they were stubborn. The English localization on this line completely jacked up the meaning.
4, adjusting angle. 3, 2, 1, fire! Hit, damn it!
That's the money shot.
Yeah. Well, no. The money shot was the single picture. This is the money cutscene.
God, that cutscene is beautiful.
Today's MVPs are the LRS.
I mean, as an artillery specialist, right, he would have an affinity for gunnery. Yes.
SSG. I'll say, especially those two lead birds. They're the Osean big shots. We can win if we follow them. The Osean big shots?
You mean the Ocean Big Shot?
I really, really hate the Ocean Big Shot nickname.
I do too. I much prefer the name the enemies gave us. Or gave me. 3 strikes.
Okay, what purpose did that serve?
I don't like that I gave
Erusia is feeling the pressure and is reacting by attempting to activate the...
You don't like the cutscene?
I don't like the sin. I'd like the cutscene.
Okay.
ballistic missile base in the suburbs of Sierra Plata.
It wouldn't be an Ace Combat game if we didn't attack a missile base.
Because that cutscene is an example of how to be vague. And
Erusia only has 5 IRBM silos in total.
If the
then
weather
you
is
understand
too
a lot better. That's the kind of vagueness I prefer, not whatever the hell happened in fucking Rescue.
Tora shows basically every single symptom of malignant narcissism, which is impressive for an arcade flight action villain. I mean, he did spend 2 years at the bottom of a sub that realistically would only have rations for 6 months.
Don't forget who he was based on. Kono was watching documentaries about serial killers, and that's what they based Torres on. So literally, like, you have to go with the textbook narcissism.
And why did he become a serial killer? Well, if they only have rations for 6 months and they were down there for 2 years, how do you think they survived?
Cloudy for the bombers to find the targets, then how did Lancaster determine their locations? And since Lancaster has determined their locations, can't the bombers just throw bunker busters at all of them to make sure they get everything?
I mean, it is Osea. They probably have the ammo to spare.
The IRBM is aimed at the Osean garrison. Cruises lives are at stake. We have no time.
They completely lost it. You can bet on it.
Why is the use of IRBMs considered to be completely losing it? Missiles of all shapes and sizes have been used countless times in Strange Real. This is nothing new.
I'm pretty sure it's because they're implied to be nuclear tipped.
If the weather is too cloudy for the bombers to find the targets,
fuck it.
then how can they see any structures even if the bomb hits a real silo?
If anything, they're
the sky feels open.
If anything, they're what?
if anything, they're burst tipped. The same burst.
Oh,
from
like
the syntax and
Nimbus.
Rindex.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Why did he become a serial killer? Well, Torres didn't pay his taxes for 2 years and was accosted by the Erusian IRS as soon as they fished off them. That's decidedly less dark headcanon than I have.
No, obviously they were cannibals. That's obvious. That's the only way.
Cyclops, like a bird in a cage. Once this mission's over, I guess we'll be back as becoming Commander Snub again. What a pain in the ass.
Count sounds like every angsty teenager ever.
All missile silos have been destroyed.
Wait, what the hell is that?
Count saw the missile launch before it even launched.
Alert! We've detected an IRBM launch. Confirmed signature on our radar. Launch site is this dam.
Erusia is definitely getting combat assistance from Belka if they hit a missile silo underneath a dam.
If it worked once, it'll work again.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, it didn't work the first time.
What?
The thing is, it didn't work the first time, though.
Shoot it down before it reaches critical altitude.
It wouldn't be a post-2010 Ace Combat game without a vertical missile chase.
Warning, we confirm another launch.
If Lancaster could mark the silos on our radar, how did he miss the legit launchers that weren't hidden underneath the dam?
Additional launch confirmed.
When I say I miss Ace Combat Infinity, I don't mean the 3 missile launch mission update.
It's not Ace Combat if you're not chasing a missile.
That's the sin I gave 2 sins ago. What I meant was
That went about as
that
expected.
Infinity had a specific mission update in some of the co-op missions where you would have 3 missiles launch, and
Oh.
actually it was really annoying.
Be sure to include in the report.
Well, duh, it didn't work. They drained the water from the dam last time. That's a good one.
How much ass I kicked while off the company commander's leash.
What did you even do in this mission?
Under the cover
Nothing.
of night, our plan is that all squadron...
Except Cyclops Squadron, apparently. It wouldn't be an Ace Combat game without a canyon flight.
Searchlight up ahead. Watch for it.
Searchlights are a damn awesome addition, but how do the people manning them not hear the jet engines?
It's because they staff them all with people who are deaf. Because all they need to do is see an aircraft. You don't need to hear to see.
Mm-hmm. Hey, bro, you hear any jets? What?
That ain't funny.
Hey, bro, you hear any jets?
Well, if you're in the military,
What?
I hope you did sign a will.
Watch yourselves out there. We're going to need all of you in for a bounty. Without Wiseman here, everybody wants to give orders like they're the company commander
I would
himself.
normally fly
How
this
was that
super
in
fast,
order?
But like, I had to get all the lines.
Yeah, you're actually going pretty slow.
I had to because I needed to get the lines in the right order.
Yeah. But not related to those sins. I actually really like this canyon run.
Oh, this is a good one.
I love this canyon run. The other canyon run that I like is Weapons of Mass Destruction in A6 because you can use it as a shield against the overwhelming odds because they don't venture down into the canyon to chase you.
Sure.
You're coming up on the base, imposing radio silence.
Lancaster takes another minute to keep talking. Also, why are we only imposing radio silence now and not through the whole canyon?
Commence the attack. It's time for their wake-up call.
If they haven't even woken up, how do you explain the transport taking off?
Wake the base commander! What are you waiting for?
You mean the base commander hasn't woken up in all this commotion?
He took like 3 Xanax. He's out.
Picking up an enemy squadron. It must be the reinforcements they called in.
Where are these guys coming from? To the north is nothing but water, and as far as we know, we destroyed Aruja's last aircraft carrier.
Also, none of those are naval aircraft. They're four super flankers and 1, if you spawn the Ace, Burkett. None of them are naval aircraft. So, where are they coming from?
All prisoners of war will be treated in accordance with international law. We've even brought pizza.
Hang on, did they actually bring pizza? If so, it has got to be frigid cold by now. If not, that breaks international law because they're torturing them with false promises of pizza.
Okay.
But, Slide, they win the war, so they can't be charged with war crimes, right?
Yeah, of course.
No offense to the army, but if I was tricked...
Okay, Cola's got a good suggestion.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
Cap flight over the ocean. Although they probably should have rechanged the dialogue to say the patrol's coming back in.
Yeah.
So, still sin-worthy, but yeah.
Trigger, I would nope right out of there because there's no way Basilisk team can do flight control, especially in extremely cloudy conditions at night.
Submarines have arrived from the Ocean mainland and are refueling.
There weren't any
regarding that last sin, they might have actually brought in people who were specifically trained as air traffic controllers because they knew they were going to be taking over an airfield.
No, I refuse that.
It makes sense.
Because they're like, we'll do the flight control. Like, who's we?
Obviously them, because they killed the Erusian flight control.
Meh.
Submarine docks at that base, and there aren't any submarines in the next mission either.
My job was to compare his performance as a pilot now to when he was younger and understand how his skills evolved.
How do you have any combat data from when he was younger? Mihai's measurements mostly look good. Blood pressure, oxygen saturation, breathing rate.
That's a good point. They mentioned submarines. but none of them helped in the Alicorn search. Because what's
Well, they
the
were
best?
on the other side. Don't you understand? They were on the north side of the continent. It would have taken them too long to come around for September 19th.
There should always be subs. I mean, as soon as the Alicorn was, a thing, back in when they were doing the briefing for Unexpected Visitor, the Ocean Navy should have been deploying hunter-killer subs in the area that they thought the Alicorn would be in already.
Well, the Ocean Armed Forces didn't think that, for some reason, they didn't think that the Alicorn was going to get underway.
Which is why we should just gone with Hujin's idea. Why don't we just sink it?
And his temperature, which is apparently in Celsius, so we know Erusia is using metric. What's far more worrisome on this screen is the computer performance. This looks like a complicated 3D eye mapping program. How is it that Schroeder's laptop is running this program using 5% CPU, less than half a megabyte of RAM, and 60 kilobytes disk read-write? If I try to use Photoshop on my laptop, the damn thing becomes so hot it's like Belka launched a nuke inside of it.
He got caught in a surprise dogfight with an especially stubborn enemy. It took a while for Mihai to bring him down.
Mihai did not get caught in a surprise dogfight with anyone but Trigger, and neither of them got shot down. None of that matches this footage, which is Mihai chasing an F-16 over Choppenberg, as evidenced by the crater.
No, that footage is wrong.
I know the footage is wrong.
Oh, you bring it up later? Okay.
Also,
No,
apparently
I
Mihai's
already
helmet
brought it up.
display uses the same
None
HUD
of-
as
none
Ace
of what
Combat
they
itself,
said matched
but now we
anything
know
to
why
do with that.
Mihai's plane seems like magic. Infinite guns, infinite missiles, infinite 6 AAMs that he never uses, and infinite flares.
Well, I was looking at chat and not really paying attention, but Mihai never fought an F-16 in Choppenberg.
Nope.
He fought
I know.
a Hornet and a Tomcat.
I know.
I was
that
paying.
footage matches nothing that he's done.
Way to go!
Mihai hit the high G's multiple times before disappearing into the blue. The support team couldn't even keep up.
Well, yeah, they haven't even taken off yet. Farbanti battle on September 19th again, go figure. My eyes! How did both ISAF and OSEA choose to attack Farbanti at the worst possible time of day for pilots?
Your air support considerably weakened organized resistance from the Erusian army. Operation nearly complete. Just need to see it through. Understood. Understood.
All right.
Understood. 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 The end of the war is in sight. Think of something you'd like to eat, guys? Because I'm buying.
Roger that. Man, don't jinx us.
Wiseman would be great at cinema scenes.
Man, don't jinx us!
No, 5 Su-30s inbound.
Ah, yes, 5 Sukhois coming to Farbanti's defense right at the end of the battle. Where have I heard that one before?
Okay, Cola is saying that in the cutscene, the Seoul flankers have, say, Russian Air Force, which is interesting
I hadn't
since
noticed that.
the Su-30M2 is actually a licensed Indian aircraft. The Russians don't actually use the M2.
LRSSG, we have an emergency order from Mission Command. Bring down Mr. X. I know it's a tall order, but HQ wouldn't ask if they didn't have faith in you.
Of course they would ask, even if they didn't have faith. I haven't forgotten about Mission 3.
I'll act as a lure. Meanwhile, you shoot down Mr. X. What? Alrighty.
No, I believe you, Cola.
Take him for a ride.
Mihai commences to
I
perform
just found it
DFN on
interesting.
Wiseman. I can accept that the HUD's connection is reliant on satellites, but if the satellites are being destroyed, why does it take so long for the connection to completely disconnect? And why do we get intermittent static bursts in the meantime? And why doesn't this happen in the later missions?
What kept the world relatively...
All right, Cola, what's your sin? if it hadn't already been brought up. I'm just gonna keep playing while I
Sane
types.
up to that point had been free-flowing data and information. But now, those were gone.
You're telling me Strangerial hasn't developed cable internet?
How the fuck does Spencer show up in later missions?
He walked from Farbanti to Gardos Air Base.
Osea still remained in control of Farbanti on the ground. That part didn't change. So he got picked up by Osean SAR and was returned to the squadron.
No,
'Cause-
just like Shamrock, he walked.
No, Shamrock flew on his jet-propelled wheelchair. We've been over this.
so Fencer had a jet-propelled wheelchair in his cockpit as well.
How did he get all the way to Gardos Air Base? Did he get you right at the OCS? I'm assuming so. It makes the most sense.
Like Raid Optics said, they did have that airport scheduled in their plans, so...
Yeah.
It all relies on satellites? What are all of those power lines for?
The continent that had once seen wars that were only fought between Osea and Rugia.
Bullshit. Osea was not involved in every single war on Usea.
They just, supplied arms and ammunition.
That line is also a mistranslation.
Ah. So you got picked up by SAR and satellite outage. Make that hard. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
The rescue beacon is not a satellite beacon. It's a radio
It's not that
beacon.
long range either.
Yeah. And there's also, he probably could have also popped smoke.
I even heard a rumor that a group of Osean convicts had rebelled.
This isn't the first time we hear this one. I don't understand that the 444th Squadron is disbanded by now, given the events on Tyler Island that we find out later. And by that point, only Tabloid and Avril are alive, so what other Osean convicts are there to rebel?
The only other implication is that the 444 is not the only expendable penal squadron that Osea had.
Mm.
Which, I mean, given some of the shady stuff we've seen Osea pull already, is it that much of a stretch to believe that?
I'm sure the drones are still working perfectly, following their mission orders to the letter.
Foreshadowing?
I'll be taking the data I've acquired away from the front lines now.
Oh yeah, of course, because the space elevator definitely won't become the front lines.
Oh, and I'll be taking the girls too.
Why? What purpose do they serve to you? Why not let them rejoin the people at Shalaji?
I told my assistant Masa.
Just like with Gandar Bay, how the hell could they have screwed this one up? According to the Japanese dialogue and some other language subtitles, this was supposed to be Martha, who is Yoko Martha Ino from Ace Combat 3. They had the reference for her name. Why couldn't they get a simple Easter egg right?
As for why he took the grandkids, human shields.
We don't talk about it.
Cyclops will remain at the base on standby to serve as defense. With the communication network currently...
Because as we see in this mission, because we hear them over the radio, because they're broadcasting in the clear, we don't fire on them.
I don't think that's exactly why he took them.
Meat shields.
I don't think that's why he did that. He's
also
not that much of a creep. We meme about him being a creep, but I don't think he's that much of a creep.
Also, collateral on Mihai. Or leverage. Get him to do what he wants.
I doubt that. I don't know. I don't see Schroeder that way.
Oh, I do.
down in the capital.
Throughout the game, if you listen carefully, you can tell which lines they had to revoice. It's usually not that noticeable, but this briefing is really bad.
Yeah, it is.
Are you here for the escort? You're not the squadron I was expecting.
Which squadron was Carl expecting?
Captain Carl, they're on our side. And those two pilots we've heard about must be here too.
Okay, I hope you're right.
Right about what, Count? What are you talking about?
Well, in this process, the unknowns caught in your cams to identify friend and foe.
It's not often that we get a well-designed gimmick and it doesn't overstay its welcome. 2 missions was perfect for this one. Kudos, Project Aces. Take another send-off.
Yeah, I only realized that
We're
after.
almost at landfill number 7. If we can make it through, we'll be in arm's reach of the rendezvous at Grunder Park.
Not only is Grunder still operational, but they're even allowed to purchase land? Osea let this happen to themselves by not dismantling the company.
Yeah. What? Osea got what they fucking
Mission exposition.
Some young Erusian officers.
It's always those damn young Erusian officers.
There was an
Damn kids! Get off my lawn!
Yep. Figures. Belka did everything wrong. Rumors, Free Erusia has been around for at least 15 years. Ace Combat 7 was rated T for teens.
Whoa, there's a girl on board? He's not lying about carrying civilians.
No, unless she's a soldier.
This feels really sexist. Not every female soldier has a low voice like Hushin.
True, but the tone of pitch.
I know, but still.
You'd be forgiven for assuming it was a child. I'm sorry, this
I
one.
know, but still.
Letting Grunder keep existing after AC5 is fucking insane. It's not just Sly that's saying that. It's everyone. Osea gets what they fucking deserve with Grunder.
Even Grunder was saying it. They're like, oh shit, we can keep going?
I mean, they didn't tell us to stop.
Right, shoot him down. Any complaints?
It's free real estate.
Complaints granted? Lancaster should have said something a lot clearer than that to give permission to engage.
Nice kill!
What's that about?
Wait.
The escort fighter is.
Why do the escort drones wait so long to engage us?
Hey, it's not our fault they won't listen to reason. Why build something like that? Whoever did is the king of all dumbasses.
Enemy has a lock on you.
Like what? A drone that makes you coffee? What other kinds of drones were you trying to make, Schroeder, besides those that engage non-Erusians?
Also, by saying maybe he was trying to build something else entirely, Schroeder low-key admits that he's the king of all dumbasses.
The escort must have used its remote activation rights to gain more allies.
Who the hell thought that giving drones remote activation rights was a good idea?
Obviously. Stranger will never had the Terminator movies.
Clearly.
Understood.
Who was Lancaster replying to?
Probably someone on the crew of the plane
Again,
he's
what's
on.
Count going on about?
Were you sent by the General Staff?
Why didn't Lancaster detect that Ocean F-16, especially since it had its weapon system active?
Probably did. He
In order to
didn't
respond
think
to
it'd
the
be a
attack on the
problem
base,
until, you know, too
Cyclops
late.
has scrambled after being on standby. We'll head up too once our planes are ready.
Ah, yes, in the meantime, let's get this debriefing done. That definitely can't wait until after the attack on the base. Also,
Stream
why
is
don't we
buffering
get to
super
play
bad.
the mission to the...
Is anyone else having stream buffering? Okay, because on my end, when I'm looking at the chat, it's
just
not.
Calamitous.
Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure.
defend this base. Also, who chose you to do the debriefings from here on out, Jaeger?
The last transmission I heard before everything went to shit.
Well, I think Jaeger was chosen by default because the company commander, aka Jameson Price, is currently indisposed, drowning his pillow in tears.
Not Jameson Price.
I thought he was
Jameson Price was at the he was at the Eastern Air Force Base. His last briefing was for Farbanti. Then the debriefing from Farbanti and the briefing for Last Hope was given by the commander of Gardos Air Base. And
Oh,
he was the
okay.
one that was drowning his sorrows.
You need something else to tell us kid about.
Also, yes, Wiseman was the company commander.
Fine, but I think the reason why Jaeger was chosen is because
I know he was chosen by default. Yeah, I know.
out of all of them, he's got the most experience, the most mature, meaning he can wrangle Count around.
He needed something else to tell his kid about.
Was that some prisoners from an Osean military penal unit rioted and managed to escape. They stole some jets and now they were flying around, taking out their former allies left and right.
Again, we don't see or hear from any of these units in actual gameplay, so what was the point of this particular plot thread?
Here we
I
were,
don't know.
walking around carrying rifles.
I think it's supposed
We
to
were
be
pilots, damn it.
The only military pilot in your group is Tabloid.
I think the thing is that it was supposed to reference to the drones with the lines, the colored lines on the cockpits.
Oh, okay.
And some people were mistaking those as sin lines.
Gotcha. I feel like maybe it could also been what Gullah said, that it was a artifact line from a script that got replaced.
Soldiers appeared and one shot at me. My dog went after him and shot him to pieces. He was my best friend.
Yes, this is a heartbreaking moment, and I'm going to sound morbid, but why did they stop shooting? If they were trying to kill Cassette, they had a perfect shot after killing her dog. Why didn't they take it?
Either they ran out of ammo,
Oh, come on.
or
Don't
they
give me
didn't.
they ran out of ammo in an Ace Combat game.
They're not using planes.
I don't care.
Guns don't have infinite ammo
Yes, they do on planes.
on planes, but not rifles.
Have we seen anyone run out of ammo shooting a gun in Ace Combat?
Yeah, Peralt.
Oh, fuck. Fair enough.
The other thing I was gonna say is the soldiers probably thought it wasn't worth wasting the ammo on her because she was probably gonna die anyway.
Then why shoot the dog?
Because the dog's an active threat.
She could be an active threat.
I'm giving you explanations.
I don't accept them.
How long have you been here?
Somehow, I muster the courage to answer the woman's question. I tell her I've been there 3 days.
Cassette, being a princess, is probably used to having 3-course meals. How has she stayed alive for 3 days with neither food nor water?
Now, regarding Count's suggestion to think about...
I would have said sheer will,
Yeah, right.
but she doesn't have any will right now.
No, she has no sheer will whatsoever.
So that is a miracle that she's still alive. Because
Show me Megalith.
About self-defense.
Jaeger clearly thought about Megalith for a second. Why not? It may be a broken down husk after we blew it up years back, but what remains of it must still be a lot of stone fortress structures. It might not be a bad place to temporarily set up camp. Of course, he throws out the idea as soon as he thinks of it, and instead decides on literal hell on earth.
one theory that I've seen that might explain why he hesitated around Megalith is
He doesn't want to tell his son about it.
he doesn't know the current status of it.
And you're okay.
It could be
no,
a
I
drone
refuse that.
nest.
No. I refuse that. Because in the Stonehenge briefing, we saw the state of Tyler Island. It was completely overrun by Erusians. Which is part of why I send this here now. Because
Fair enough.
that is
I'm just
stupid.
saying, I'm not arguing that part. I'm arguing why he might have hesitated over Megalith.
A potential abandoned stone fortress is better than a confirmed hellhole. They got lucky that they ended up at Tyler Island to stop the Arsenal Birds refuel, but still.
You also keep in mind they know they're with the protagonist. Just stick with Trigger
Well,
and you
yeah,
make it.
Count says his
but they
previous
were also with
squadron took
protagonists
part
they
in an
went to
operation
battle
to
with.
seize control of the island.
If you look closely, you can see Count's name, which begs two questions. How does he know the approach vectors the 444th used to get to the island? And how does he have a login to this software?
Because when did he become no longer Cyclops leader? Was that directly after Farbanti?
He was only Cyclops leader for like the 10 minutes that we were fighting Mihai, yeah.
I got nothing.
Speaking of which, if Count has a login to this software, why is Jaeger using Wiseman's login and not his own?
Though based on what Count told me about the island operation, it
All
won't
right,
be
Ray.
easy to seize control.
Again, how does Count know that any Osean naval vessels were sent to Tyler Island?
If the ground troops have managed to open the bridgehead, the transport route to Osea for supply ships should be available.
Wait, what? The supply ships can literally go...
Koa, he couldn't have been Cyclops lead for very long because I think in mission 16 he was Strider 2. So either there was no Cyclops 1 for a while until Fencer got to Gardos, or there was more time in between Gardos and mission 16 is like 10 days. That's actually...
Oh yeah, good point. I just went back. Yeah, he was Strider 2 in Last Hope.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he might have had a login in between missions, but I don't know.
Go all the way to Osea? How? The mass driver on the island is pointing at the space elevator, and we've heard nothing about the supply ships being able to carry people or even land anywhere except on an arsenal bird.
There's more over here. The bodies of dead civilians. I hope we can part of the fight. See that? They're all lined up.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I do not like the 8 AAM pods on the Raptor. I know they're stealthy, but why give it 8 AAMs when 6 AAM had been perfect and it doesn't look like it reduces the stealth cross section?
Because these back when the game was being developed, these were being tested on the F-22.
No, I get that.
In real life.
Also, the 8 AAM in the vanilla game sucks because of the double
Well,
walking.
yeah, but that doesn't mean anything.
No,
being
they're
used
not
as F-22s,
combatants. Some of them aren't even wearing shoes. I can
Besides,
guess what
I
happened.
really like the 8 AM for the supply ship chase.
Fair enough.
Really don't want to think about it. Who's the bastard? The blatant war crime.
Ace Combat 7 deserves some real credit for taking War is Hell to more extremes than ever before. I'm taking a sin off for powerful storytelling in the last cutscene in here.
I mean, there's a reason why I call this War Crime Island.
We'll head back to HQ.
What HQ could you have possibly set up in this mess? Jesus, how many Belkans were involved at an Osean facility? I mean it, has Osea truly learned nothing?
No.
Jesus, they're firing at each other. Is this the norm around here? It's all crazy people.
Whoa, hold on, where did Taylor come from?
Don't know.
Cyclops 3, stop fluttering about and stay glued to my ass. I've heard that line before. Damn it. In this crazy mess, I've got plenty to pay attention to other than your dirty ass.
His delivery really makes that line.
Don't miss. We don't want to hit the pretty ladies down there.
As opposed to this line, which is delivered really creepy.
I don't consider it creepy. I consider it from an age gone by. And given how old Jaeger is compared to everyone else, it makes sense for his character. What?
That age gone by was a really creepy age.
Fox 2.
Well, at least Ace Combat finally admitted they repeat a song 100 times.
It's canon. Every country knows exactly one song. That's it.
Yeah, that is valuable information.
We now spend the next 30 seconds flying around pointlessly instead of attacking the supply ships before they launch.
That pisses me off so much.
The supply ships have been launched from the mass driver.
It wouldn't be an Ace Combat game without chasing a fast-traveling missile... Wait.
We have no choice but to return to our original base.
Why? All Erusian military forces in the area have been wiped out, except maybe the ones at the mass driver, but we now have enough Osean forces to fight them or force them to surrender. With the runway captured, we can land here and use this base.
Not really, because by that time, if you pay attention to the Osean forces on radar, they're already at the landing ships.
Even the commander here is starting to fray from the stress.
Starting to?
They say that Belkans are known for their conspiracies.
That's just a stereotype.
Yeah, but it's true.
I simply stated my honest opinion.
At that point, it's not called a stereotype, it's called pattern recognition. I'm just noticing a pattern. Every single Belkan, other than you, has caused some shit. And even you've caused some shit. That's why you're thrown in jail to begin with.
And was thrown in jail for it.
And you threw a rock, so I'm guessing you also damaged public property somewhere. But sure, it was all about your honest opinion. Foreshadowing aircraft carrier.
Even long before the war, the whole world started falling apart once Harling began trying to build it.
Yeah, let's just ignore the Continental War, the Usean Rebellion, the Belkan War, and every other conflict that happened before the start of this construction.
The Circum-Pacific War,
so many
the
people were
Marian
sacrificed in
Slovakian
order
War.
to create.
Cassette proceeds to talk
That
about
was
the
after.
obsolescence of space shuttles as if those were people killed to build the space elevator.
All of
Before
those
the lighthouse?
countless old space shuttles.
That was after it started construction.
I think
okay.
that thing should be destroyed.
We proceed to start playing the pronoun game, except not with a pronoun. They keep pretending for the next cutscene that we're physically destroying it, when they're not doing that at all.
It looks like Erusia...
Also be a very bad idea to destroy the ISF.
Well, yeah, but they keep talking like they want to do it, but that's not what they want to do at all.
Well, I'm saying it because if they do, Celepatura is gone.
I think a lot more than Celepatura would be gone.
Oh yeah, because then there's the tsunami that would happen for all that shit crashing down the ocean.
His largest force and leading faction will pass through the area around this base.
Where did Jaeger get this intel from?
Aircraft are our only threat.
The majority of targets in this mission are ground enemies firing at us.
That's true.
Let's hurry up and capture this base so we can get its fuel and supplies. Shit.
What made Count freak out at the end there?
I don't know. I got nothing on that one. I was trying to think of a funny joke, but I couldn't think of it.
Says the leader of an...
What?
There's nothing you can say. Then.
I was trying to come up with a funny joke, and yeah, no, I didn't have anything.
Independence resistance movement.
Star warning. Star warning. Missile. Missile. Missile.
I'm out. Ejecting.
Missile.
I hope he's okay. Bailing out of those conditions. I can see his parachute. It's breaking exit to safety.
What are you talking about? He safely bailed out and you only have friendlies below you.
Yeah.
Strider 1, you have a bogey approaching at high speed. Bearing 090, straight from the east.
No,
Here's your
no,
baby.
No. Don't you dare make me shoot down my baby.
Shoot down the baby, Sly!
Why is Mihai testing the Exo-2S?
I don't
He
want
knows
to.
his Su-30 like the back of his hand, and there's no one around to collect the combat data.
Missile.
That bastard's moving in a way that minimizes the damage even when he's hit.
That is one hell of an explanation for plot armor.
There are pilots like you in every generation. And I found every last one of them.
Citation needed.
Let's see here. Let's go down the list of all the aces like Trigger that he's killed.
That's a nice argument, Mihai. Why don't you back
Let's
it
hear
up with a source?
like Phoenix. Phoenix. Oh wait, no, he's still around. Oh, I know. Cypher. No, that was a completely different word. Mobius 1. No, he's still in North Point, and that's the reason why you guys aren't there. Oh, Blaze. No, wait, he got shot down by swordsman. Right. Talisman. No, wait, he's currently flying for the American Air Force. I don't know what you're smoking there. The only one that could be considered close to Trigger's skill would be Wiseman. Grendel.
Oh God.
It's a hit. The unidentified aircraft is going.
All right, that's
Mihai
funny.
survives this.
Put a stop to the drone production.
Is this a message to Trigger? What does it mean?
I don't think this war is over just because we shot down Mr. X. Yeah, it's gonna take something else entirely to end this thing. I just don't know what.
Probably putting a stop to the drone production?
I
Russia
wonder.
had a lot up their sleeves.
Like I said, if Ameria's dump stat is intelligence, Osia's dump stat is wisdom.
Apparently, they were even supposed to have Belkin aircraft back in the First War.
I do not accept this piece of history. Belka had nothing to do with the Continental War.
There was this little girl sitting in front of a mural.
Why would Ionella leave Alma all by herself? This looks like a glass or metallic floor of some kind. Shooting a gun at a data chip on the ground is the worst idea here.
What, you don't want to have the bullet go ricochet everywhere and Swiss cheese everyone?
No. What I really want is all of the glass shards to stab me.
Oh yeah, shrapnel. Very good. Mistranslation alert. Oh no.
She pulled the trigger and destroyed the chip.
I refuse to believe that Ionella had no chances to destroy that chip until now, when it was most convenient for Schroeder and the drones. Maybe she didn't have access to a gun, but I'm sure she could have thought of something.
There were also the
Also, why did that gun only have one bullet in it?
granddaughters of Mihai A. Shalaji,
She had
the
fired
legendary
multiple shots,
pilot.
remember?
We know.
No. Then clearly there should be bullet holes everywhere.
There were. She shot up the server farm.
Oh.
Literally earlier in the cutscene. it shows
Gramps
that. I
used to
just
talk
didn't put it
about
in
him.
the video.
We know. You already told us the shark story.
He said Mihai was the top ace from 2 wars ago.
In a world where wars happen everywhere, you can't just say 2 wars ago. That means nothing.
Okay, Climatus is going. The aircraft that Trigger shot down was an upgraded variant of the Exo-2 Wyvern, a model developed during the last Continental War. The Eurasians use these things too. But in the last war, there was a Belkin-made version of this aircraft on the market, so it's an aircraft. I mean, since the EASA in the Lighthouse War has been infiltrated by Belkins, I'm willing to say that the Belkins probably had a hand in making the Strike Wyvern.
They did. We know that for a fact. That's canon.
Oh, it's meant to reference the Wyvern from 5. That's right. They were. Okay.
When Jaeger says apparently they were even supposed to have Belkin aircraft in the last war, it's a complete fuck up because they're trying to refer to the 5, the Exo-2 that was shot down in 5, but it just makes it sound like they were supposed to have Belkin-made aircraft in the Continental War, which is a completely the wrong meaning. Again, another thing that I would like to redo.
Know any Belkans?
Don't tell me that.
Because this guy was a Belkan, and they love to stir shit up.
Of course he is.
To be fair, that was foreshadowed when we first heard his name. Schroeder.
I know.
It's fucking German!
The theory was that through war, we could achieve our destiny and our revenge.
Destiny? What destiny? And as far as revenge
A
goes,
robot
the people
war.
to blame for Belka's suffering aren't even in Osea anymore. Harling was peaceful, and when he was in power, he pretty much stopped that from happening. But you created the drones to kill him, the only person who may have been on your side, so...
Mihai's granddaughter tossed the gun aside.
Tossing a handgun after firing it, even though doing that can make it go off again, cliche.
Again, I put a card up there.
The gun was...
So-
Okay.
Yes, because the slide is back, it means the gun is empty. I should have fucking noticed that. Here's the thing.
Okay, you're probably not very familiar with guns. That's fine.
That too. That isn't something that I immediately noticed. I still have a sin to give there, because instead of tossing the gun aside, what I would say is, because what was the line? Mihai's granddaughter tossed the gun aside. She said if she used it, she'd be just like the rest of us, something like that.
Well, she can't. She's got no ammo.
The gun's empty, so she can't use it.
I mean, she could use it as a bludgeoning weapon.
Pistol whip him.
Pistol whip.
Is this for Belka? Or for Erugia?
That lip-syncing needed some more time in development.
We have to learn to put that sense of nostalgia behind us and behave like mature adults.
Spoken in a game that uses a lot of nostalgia in some of the missions.
I checked the computer.
I think that was supposed to be A7's Ludmilla moment,
Yes.
but Ludmilla does it better.
And Wojciech's a better character than Schroeder, so.
Oh, yeah. Because Wojciech has honor. Schroeder has none.
All of the data on the legendary Ace had already been installed.
No, I pulled it before it was completed.
What? You just said...
I had just finished inputting Mihai's data.
May says Schroeder's
I would love
honor.
to know what Wojciech looked like when he was younger. Maybe he was a hottie.
I still want a Estevakian Civil War game where we
Yes.
play as Wojciech. Because mainly I want to
Wojciech's a-
land on the fucking a guy on.
Besides, Wojciech's a gilf. There, I said it. Play the video.
However, there are 2 aircraft that are already scheduled to be manufactured based on that data.
If you pulled it, how are there 2 aircraft scheduled to be made?
We can destroy the space elevator.
Not
Leave the man
pronoun
listening
game
to
continues.
May, Sly.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
I stood there, thinking about that mural by the factory's entrance. Harling commissioned it to be painted. I realized that in the background, behind the dancing figures, the artist had painted several
Look at how
space
close all the
elevators.
space elevators are to each other. That's very impractical.
It's an artistic
understand
rendition.
now.
It's
Sly.
very impractical.
The space elevator wasn't designed to exploit
God
Erugia
damn it,
after
Sly.
all.
How did Cassette not know about the mural before stepping into the factory? Had she never ever visited the space elevator?
She probably had
Yeah,
never had a reason
And
to do
afterwards,
so.
we'll bring down
Obviously
the
she did.
space
That's- I
elevator
wouldn't do
itself.
that.
Not pronoun game still continues.
I wonder which path you would choose when looking at Harling's mirror.
Why does that matter?
Earlier, we received a communication
I think it
via
was
the
supposed to
partially
be
restored
profound.
general network.
Which runs on what
It would have worked
exactly?
earlier.
Also, this briefing music is the best in the game.
You can't just call it a general network. There's got to be some technology involved. Radio, for example?
People
Land.
from both Osea and Erugia have joined
We're having a
forces
land party.
and will take down the final Arsenal bird in a saturation attack from the air. See.
How does anyone think that's going to work? The only way that the first Arsenal bird went down was by using a Stonehenge railgun, which is way more powerful than what Mihai was packing in the last mission, which was experimental. There's no way anyone has an actual plan to take this thing down.
Thanks. I owe you. No sweat.
Two sides join together at the end, cliche. Why are the Erusian allies marked red on the subtitles?
Oh, that right there still bugs me to this day.
It bugs me so much.
They should be in blue.
Yeah.
First, our goals.
Or at the very least, yellow.
Destroy the space elevator.
Not pronoun game goes for the combo.
Yellow is also bogey unknown. Or unidentified.
What the hell?
Not in,
this is a battle to restore
not seven.
sanity to the continent and the countries that exist.
You fixed it with... Wait, and...
Yeah, it's very easy to fix that in modding.
Oh, I might have to pull a mod in then.
Let's not start a brand new one.
Guys, restored this very
Say hello to everyone.
That's a weird way of saying hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Our princess is looking at a mural.
There's a battle raging overhead. This isn't the time to stop and look at paintings.
Especially with heavy breathing.
Skies unknown.
Roll credits.
Warning, missiles launched from the Arsenal bird. They're Helios projectiles.
Oh, hey, it's the airburst missiles we only saw that one other time.
I said we were going to take down the space elevator. It's not like we can just go out there and chop it down.
You sure? You seem to be implying that the entire time until now.
What, did they just misplace their giant fucking axe?
I keep thinking about a giant fucking axe, yeah.
Are they gonna call it Operation Paul Bunyan? Just get... bam! 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 Don't worry. It'll be down in like 5 years. Bam!
If the sensors go bad, the elevator's observation system will think the elevator has fallen.
You're telling me 6 location markers at the very top of the elevator are the only sensors used to detect if the entire elevator, this massive structure, has fallen.
Everybody,
yes.
Give this attack everything you've got.
Mihai's Su-30SM is here. That might make a little sense since he didn't use it when he was shot down. But what makes even less sense is Champ's MiG-29 showing up over here.
I like to believe that since... Oh, wait, no.
He was shot down in it.
No, Mihai's thing.
Oh.
I was thinking Wit took it, but we didn't actually shoot Wit down.
Nope.
In... So, yeah. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it was just not as battle damaged. So he took that one.
Okay, that was some bullshit. Every time we've seen the Arsenal bird throw up its shields, it's needed to charge it up. You might say that we only saw one particular Arsenal bird, and this one has upgraded shields, but the next time it puts up its shields in gameplay, it has to charge up first.
That was a cutscene. Cutscenes are different.
Hey, look at the Arsenal bird.
Lasers!
Yep, wouldn't be an Ace Combat game without lasers.
Frickin' lasers!
We should launch another saturation attack.
Yeah, this guy is no different than the IUN HQ. They even expected it to not work.
HQ, it won't be easy to take down the Arsenal bird with conventional weaponry.
Trigger proceeds to destroy the Arsenal.
Cut lines in here. There's a whole lot of cut lines around here. I'm sure Calamitous would be... He's probably spamming in chat right now.
Not yet, but he could be typing.
Not yet.
No bird with conventional weaponry.
I love this. This is my favorite mission in the entire game. I love taking down.
It's a good one.
The Arsenal bird, especially with my baby, the Nosferatu.
It's a lot more fun than fighting Faust.
It's a drone killer. I'm not actually, but yes. My main issue with Faust is that you have to kill her like 4 times. And there's no checkpoints to reload.
Oh, that's fucking obnoxiously difficult, even on the easiest possible difficulty.
Oh yeah, it's basically bullet hell.
It's bullshit. It's a bullshit bullet hell. This
Yeah.
is a bullet hell. This is a bullet hell because you get so many drones firing missiles at you that, like, if you want to calm them down, you have to shoot down a whole bunch of them. Faust, there's nothing to fix that.
I mean, the easiest way to fix the drone problem is to just bring in the Nosferatu with the ADMM.
Even in the base game is what I'm saying, though. Like, you have all kinds of options.
Yeah.
You still but like you can actually, like, you can open up your own breathing room in here.
No, I
Faust, you can't.
I'm not defending the Faust fight. I hate the Faust fight.
No, but
I
I'm
think
saying
Faust
you
as a
don't need
character is hilariously, deliciously evil, and she has more of a justification for being evil than somebody else in Project Wingman. But
I don't think I have a whole, like, hatred for her writing and the story in Frontline 59, but like, I think she's worse written than Crimson One.
That's a pretty low
But
bar.
I know.
Bullet hell, bitch! It's the Macross Missile Massacre. Yes.
What I was trying to say is that you don't need something as overpowered as a CFA-44 to do this mission. Like,
No, I know. I just
but
find it fun.
for freaking Faust, we don't get access to anything overpowered, so that it's just insanely, stupidly difficult.
I mean, I think the mission was balanced as if you were using the Nosferatu. But you
It
don't
was
get
balanced for
ac-
Project Wingman, yeah.
You don't get access to the Nosferatu.
And God forbid you want to play that mission with IT, all you get is the F-14.
Mm-hmm. Faust is, in Calamus' opinion, is just a bad attempt to replicate Taurus without understanding why Taurus works. That's a fair assessment.
Calamitous is 100% correct.
Yeah, that is
the fucking Matt, the fucking writer, was trying to say that Torres was badly written. Like, shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah. I saw that on Twitter.
Exactly. He doesn't understand why the hell Torres is such a good, well-written character and why Faust is not. Anyway, that's Project Wingman.
HQ proceeds to not come up with anything. In fact, this is their final line in the whole game.
Smash it. Smash all 6 of the bastards. It'll lose power.
What is Cassette smashing the sensors with? She's wearing a pressurized suit, and I hear glass breaking. How is her suit staying untouched?
I'm assuming there was a wrench up there.
I don't care. If you're breaking glass, like, bulbs, you're gonna get some pieces in your suit.
Whatever. I love that scene.
What kind of magic did you work there, you asshole?
Apparently, it just takes a magic trick to get in Hushin's pants.
Missed a space in the subtitles.
You missed a what?
A space in the subtitles.
Oh. But the reason I love that
No.
the reason why I love that scene is it's great story writing integration with the music. I mean, it all blends together. It's perfect. And I will always try and line up and then post stall on the shield drop just because Starscream asked me to do it in the first stream run I did of A7, and I've done it ever since.
Sure, some of the UAVs still equipped on the Arsenal Bird are falling, but most of the UAVs that were already active are still somehow unfazed by the loss of power. Seymour would be great at CinemaSins.
George! Tabloid! Get back here! I can't leave my girl to die.
George runs for a girl, but Tabloid is the one who dies?
But the kid Tabloid went after a safe.
What they did to Tabloid is a war crime. George should have died in Atonement.
The problem is that if George would have had to have died in Atonement for lines that have been cut from the game. So George dying for Atonement means he's dying for nothing.
No, because some lines in the game that were here were, as Avril said in War Crime Island, got it from a Belkan officer who wanted to atone for his sins.
Yeah, but still.
And redemption equals death. Tabloid didn't need to be redeemed.
That's the last of the rooms.
That's a clever nickname for them, but why is this the first and last time we hear it?
Don't worry about me. Please just take care of the refugees. I'll parachute down. What?
Warning, incoming bogey.
Are those the drones we saw at that factory? I'm coming down. I'll see you on the ground. No, wait!
Cassette did the stupidest move ever after seeing 2 advanced drones. She should have stayed where she was, not fucking jump off. Did Count intentionally fly past Cassette to shake the missile? If so, that still makes him a grade A asshole. Also, Cassette survives this.
There's an Osean carrier a few kilometers to the west. It ran aground and was abandoned. It won't be easy, but it's the only place you got.
What about the gigantic urban city right here, which has an airport?
I know that's a sin, but narratively speaking, the carrier is the better story choice.
I know.
And since I'm a naval aviation fanboy, carrier launches are just so much more badass.
Somehow managed to land. It's your turn now.
You can't just hand wave that. How did you land? Who guided you down?
Yeah. Shut up, May.
Hey, don't tell my girlfriend to shut up.
Tell her not to hurt my feelings.
It's okay. I didn't need to sleep tonight. You didn't think we were done with her fingernails, did you?
Hell, I can't just snap my fingers and make a plane.
But that's literally what you did in the 444.
Hold on.
Believe me, I wish I could. Right now, we needed one. Bad.
Why? No one needs a new
Oh,
plane.
wait,
We just
I thought
need
I
some
did bring it up,
repairs.
'cause that is what she does.
Hang on. November 1st, 0700 hours? Those 2 drones have been flying for 16 hours. How the hell can they do that without refueling, especially since the space elevator is currently offline?
They are powered solely by angry drone noises.
There is no way Trigger's plane fit in there. The plane moves to the catapult, but then goes all the way back for the actual takeoff if you're not in the carrier aircraft. When I say I miss Ace Combat Infinity, I didn't mean the Butterfly Master's drones.
Fuck these drones! I got 2 more. Oh, Calamitous has 2 more sins from Lighthouse.
Oh, keep playing
aircraft via data link. All aircraft rely on visual confirmation.
That's right. That's how it used to be done.
Yeah, like 50 years.
When Lancaster brings up lasers he can't see because he doesn't have a window, they have a thermal signature that could be picked up by the AOX's sensors.
Ago.
Zone 2 lost. What was it?
Lancaster's.
Avril continues her broadcast after Cassette brings down the ISF. That's a good point.
Playing favorites, I see. Oh, f*** you.
That's that.
Listen.
That is
listen,
exactly
listen.
you captured my exact emotions when I first saw that. I was like, "Oh fuck you piece of shit!"
I love that they did that.
Oh no,
That
it's
is
great.
That is such a middle finger to the player, and that
It's
is
a
such
dick
a cool
move,
fucking.
but it's great.
But it's also such a cool like mechanic for a boss fight. Like no, I could drop my wings. Like oh, okay.
You fool! This isn't even my final form.
Well, actually, technically that was this final form, and it just kind of reverted into a previous form.
It's a meme, Sly. Shut up.
I know.
I'll deal with you in a little bit.
Is it just me, or is that thing trying to read Trigger's reactions? It's observing Strider 1. It's like it's trying to learn from him.
Cool concept, but it's not actually happening. The drone has very fixed patterns.
Although, lore-wise, that is exactly what it's programmed to do. Learn from the best.
Yes, lore-wise, but that's what I said. It's not actually happening.
There's still one drone left.
Where even is Cassette right now? And how can she see the drone?
She's God.
How does Count not recognize her voice? He heard her broadcasts all the time while he was in prison.
When I was in my cell, I'd hear this voice coming from the guards room. It was the Erusian princess rallying her people on the Erusian national broadcast. All us prisoners had become big fans of hers.
Trigger, you're gonna have to fly into the tunnel after the UAV.
Wouldn't be an Ace Combat game without a
Say
tunnel
the
flight.
line, Sly.
Look, it's Trigger.
What even are physics?
Wish y'all could have seen that.
How is Count sending a radio transmission from underneath the space elevator? Especially since Lancaster's radio cut out.
This is Captain Kay Nagase of the spaceship Pilgrim 1.
Nagase is here for no other reason than for the fans to freak out.
To the
It's not an Ace Combat game without a Nagase.
Well, yeah, but this is specifically 5.
I know.
pilot who generously gave this spaceship a place to dock. We are forever grateful.
What, was Nagase in a holding position until the drones were down?
Yeah, it's called an orbit.
It's all coming together for me. Today was the day, the moment of her return.
What a coincidence.
To skies unknown.
Roll credits.
A humanitarian mission from Yuktovania.
Don't even try to fix it via subtitles. I heard it. You all heard it. There's no such place as Yuktovania. The cover paragraph states that the peace treaty will be signed at North Point, but why? Why not the space elevator? Of all places, why North Point? It had nothing to do with the entire war.
That might be
Also,
why.
in case you wanted one more Ace Combat 5 reference, Albert Jeanette was the one who wrote this article and took the photographs. Again, another Yuktovania spelling error. 3 nations who fought against each other a couple of months ago? Yuktobania had nothing to do with this war either. Cassette is mentioned to be...
Hey, wait, that's continuity error. Cola's right. Jeanette could not have wrote the article. He's in Aurelia right now.
No. That's not the error.
Oh, peace treaty.
He's not in Aurelia for another year.
Aces at War.
No. There's 2. There's this article goes into that too. They had one conference at Expo City and they had a North Point thing as well. This article mentions that.
I thought Jeanette was there.
2020 is Ace Combat X.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then he wrote this article real damn fast.
December 2019, the countries of Osea and Erusia forged a peace agreement at the Expo City Conference. The long-standing war between them will end with the signing of a non-aggression pact planned to take place next month at North Point.
18 years old, so how was she classmates with the 15-year-old Ionella?
I guess
I've got a theory that actually fits in. She got
It would've been
held
held
back
back.
3 years.
I know.
Tabloid got that new system he wanted in the end.
What new system is Avril talking about?
So,
Wow, Jeanette.
pause that. I didn't understand. Now I understand. She's talking about a new government system, a new society kind of thing, like an anarchist. Here's the thing: he never used those words ever. New system. So
All I know is that Arouge is basically fucked.
Oh yeah.
Girls carrying relief goods? You couldn't be a little more creative? North Osea Grander IG was one of cases. And it's spelled correctly right below, too.
You know what having peace in the world means? It's being able to die in your own bed at a ripe old age.
What a line to deliver right when Harling's photo is shown.
That was probably
Erusian
intentional.
space station? Since when did Erusia have a space station?
It would be international, wouldn't it? A trip to Tyler Island.
Yeah, I know. I'm heading into hell. Whatever. They'd shout, "Burn Osea down."
To the ground! Burn, burn! Burn to the ground! Burn, burn to the ground!
They'd shout, "Burn Osea down."
Burn, baby, burn.
Can you hear me, Zero?
Clouds. That's right. I'm Belkin, born and raised.
Oh my god.
God, I hate the smell of this place. It's all fake and lies and bullshit. It reeks.
You sure that's not your own suit you're smelling?
God,
Are those
Chopper.
drones remote controlled?
What is a nation? Can we actually see the physical lines that divide one from another?
There's not much difference between those countries from up here.
Had to do
In an
that.
actual dogfight. No pilot will get back alive. I'm not sure I buy that.
You can believe what you want, but it's the truth.
It was
There's the thing that I thought you were gonna do for that one was actually Jack Sparrow's. Well, then where did the stories come from? I wonder.
It was like seeing how a shark works when
Oh, I
it's
should
going
do
after its dinner.
The shark. You're real.
Platform punch confirmed. You just put the meat
Colonel Bishop.
between those buns and that burger is well done.
God damn it, Sly.
For a man his age, Mihai's body was unbelievably resilient, remarkably flexible.
I think we've sunk most of the enemy fleet, but I can't tell because of all the smoke.
They got more smoke down there than when you tried frying that egg last week. Shoot the gun, not your mouth, wise guy. They have 4 aircraft. There are 4 lights.
I
She
love
took a
Star
data
Trek.
chip and threw it on the ground.
I threw it on the ground.
Orders are fire.
Why you always lying?
All right.
Hey,
Well,
looks like Marco's obsessed with Ace Combat.
a little bit, yeah. Well, that was everything wrong with Ace Combat, not DLC edition. Have you? I don't remember. Did you get to the DLC, or is that work in progress?
No.
Hey.
So I had more excitement. Like I was looking more forward to doing everything wrong with Project Wingman than
The DLC.
anything else. Well, anything else, because I wanted to get that done, especially if there were going to be updates coming up.
What
but-
updates?
Well, no, because they did release an update that actually did change. That would have changed my scoring.
Oh.
I have a work in progress pinned comment on that video regarding some of the corrections. But no, because now my problem is like I'm trying to decide what to do next. I have other video ideas that I want to do, but like as far as everything wrong with, I don't know what I want to do next. I don't know if I want to
Hawks.
redo. I'll get to that. I'll explain that in a second. I don't know if I want to redo 7. I don't know if I redo 7, if I want
Everything
to put the
wrong
DLC
with Joint
in.
Assault.
I don't know if I want to put 7's DLC in the 7 video or if I want to make that a separate video. I don't know if I want to do Joint Assault or X or 3 or one of the other games. I don't know if I want to remake one of the PS2 videos that I would rather like. I
If you're
would
gonna
really
do
like
a
to
new
remake.
one, I would recommend X because you actually like it. If you
But
try to
here's the
do,
problem: X is going to be the most complicated one out of all of them because of the multiple routes.
this is true.
At least 3, I can do that relatively easily. I could just do one video per route, and then sum it all up with the final ending. But as far as Hawks, I would like to. I was hoping to. I was planning to one day. I can't play the game, or at least,
Rip.
well, I can apparently maybe. On PC, which is where I would prefer to play it, the controller icons no longer work, and I cannot play the game if my internet connection is on.
So just do it without internet connection.
I'd have to do it without internet connection, but then I'd also have to do it without the fucking correct button prompts. Unless I somehow figure out how to connect an Xbox controller and figure out why it's not even registering that. I don't know. Hawks is going to be a mess. Or do I want to do something else? I don't know. It's
Everything
still
wrong with Sly Cooper.
already been done.
Everything
don't
wrong
know
with
that I would-
Final Fantasy.
I am not fucking doing that. I have not like I am hardly an authority speaker on Ace Combat. I would never pretend to be one for Final Fantasy. Especially given that 14 and 16 are the only games that I've ever played in that.
So, the newest one is an MMO. I wouldn't recommend doing an EWW for an MMO live service.
I'm not doing everything wrong with any Final Fantasy game. Or do I want to do Raider Sphere 4th? Or Heatseeker? Or Lethal Skies 2? Or Hawks 2? I don't know. There's a lot that I could do. And there's other videos that I want to make besides everything wrong with. I have
everything
plenty of
wrong
ideas
with
and plenty
air
of...
combat.
God, no, there's not enough for that. I wouldn't even do... I wouldn't do everything wrong with Ace Combat 2 either, because there's not enough there.
What about Legacy?
I would do that.
If you could, port it. Because I heard that the emulation port is hit or miss.
More hit lately.
Okay.
Now that computers are good enough, we can play it pretty decently. The problem is that Citra was shut down. But there's ways around that. There's mirrors and shit.
Everything
course,
wrong with Northern Wings.
There's still not enough there. There's not enough for a video there.
Well,
I
the
mean,
video
whole
is
damn
the
game,
video is like
but
1 minute long tops, and just say everything.
I know
It's non-canon.
And then there's Assault Horizon and Infinity. And
Are
of
you
course,
even going to be
Skycrawlers.
able to do Infinity?
Sure, they 8 story missions, and I was even considering like maybe I could do a couple of the co-op missions.
No,
but
that's
at
not what
least-
I mean. Where are you getting the footage?
Oh, that I would have to take someone else's footage.
Alright.
I have Ace Combat fans footage already downloaded.
Oh, gotcha.
If I can't record footage myself, I will take someone else's footage, and it may end up that I just do that for Hawks.
Fair enough.
But besides, I like Hawks in co-op. It's a lot of fun, and it's actually like decently fun because the missions change in co-op. Like you get more enemies, and you actually have to strategize with your teammates. I actually really I found it really fun. But the problem is you can't do it anymore because if you have an internet connection, like you have to have an actual physical LAN party. You can't do a LAN party over the internet anymore because then the game will stutter.
Lovely. Well,
So yes, I have a lot of ideas swirling in my head every night I go to sleep, and I think of video scripts. I'm not joking.
well, that's all we got for this stream. Thank you, Sly, for
I'm not even done rambling.
Oh.
And if I wanted
thought
to do
you
a
were done.
remake of the fucking PS2, no, because I just remembered something. I don't even want to do a remake of the PS2 videos because what if they announce remakes for the 30th anniversary? Then what?
This is the 30th anniversary.
June, yeah.
They could. I doubt it's gonna
But then,
happen
like,
without a
I doubt
change
it
in the
too.
playing roster.
I highly doubt that they're gonna actually make remakes. But
If they do, they have to get rid of the tornadoes.
But then,
Because they
like,
don't have, they
what
can't
do I
get the
do?
license.
But then what do I do? Do I do everything wrong with the PS2 games? Do I do everything wrong with the remakes? Do I do both?
Yes. You must feed the content algorithm.
Yes, I must make more videos, of course.
We all must bow
Anyway.
down to the YouTube algorithm.
Now I'm done. That's all that's swirling in my head about this. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Sly, for hopping in and subjecting yourself to your own cringe.
Yeah.
As for the everything wrong with videos, there's only one left for me to really react to, and that would be Project Wingman. Decent fun right here. Not sure when we're going to be able to get to do that, but I'm looking forward to it. As for other stream, well,
You've got 50 seconds. Wrap it up.
As for other streams, I will be back for sure tomorrow evening for single player Baldur's Gate 3 because I don't know when the floof is getting back from Iowa. He said sometime tomorrow, but the roads are still kind of iffy.
30 seconds.
Blizzards. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow evening. Thank you all for joining me. And
20 seconds.
I'm going to mute you. Have a great night, everyone.
Good night.